Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Good Monday, everybody. Hope your weekend was grand. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free always. Don't miss anything. Sometimes you miss something. When that happens, go back, get caught up at your leisure, as we'll post all 3 hours of the program both on iTunes and our own audio vault upon the conclusion of the program. You can email us if you like. It's jcs at 979ESPNradio.com. Find me on Twitter at JCameronShow. WTSM app. Did I say that already? Good for mobile devices. Android, iPhone, doesn't matter.
Well, it's doubly true.
It is true. Also within that app, you can find the archived audio as well. On Twitter, if you follow the at 979 ESPN radio feed, you'll see the show Periscoped. And if you want to watch it on YouTube, type in ESPN Tallahassee on YouTube and you'll find us. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you're doing well. Baseball team did what they were supposed to do over the weekend, not surprisingly. They got the sweep and are now 7-0 and got to see some guys that we hadn't seen pitch before. That's exciting. I always like to watch the new young arms come out there to talk about what's possible on down the line. Basketball team got their ass stomped in a game in which they embarrassed themselves after having a week to prepare for it. That's unfortunate. There was no excuse for that nonsense. It was tough to watch, tough to stomach, tough to explain, and thus no excuses need to be made. I would imagine Leonard Hamilton and his staff feel somewhat embarrassed by that effort or lack thereof, especially on the defensive end in the first half. A humiliating ass-kicking from start to finish. So, you know, what does that mean? Well, it means that all is not lost, all is not undone. One bad night, really ugly night, inept night, especially on defense, doesn't mean that we ignore the pluses and the games won, which have put you in a position to be in the NCAA tournament, which is the stated goal, and they're still in that position. So we're not jumping off the bridge, but we certainly will identify a poor performance when we see one. And last night, perhaps, I think you could make the argument, Tom, was the worst of the year when you had a week to prepare and you had some time to get your legs fresh and you had an opportunity to go and put yourself in a position to go ahead and, without question, punch the ticket. I almost spit as I was so angry. But the thing about it was, more than anything else, you can lose road games in the ACC against a team that's now won 4 straight in conference and has shot the lights out. NC State has done that against more than just Florida State last night. So they're really playing good basketball right now. It's not shocking Florida State went and lost the game. I'm not stating this angrily because they went and lost a road game in the conference that is arguably the best in the country. I'm stating it angrily because they did not have the requisite effort on the defensive end to avoid this game becoming as one-sided as quickly as it did. You've got to get out and you got to defend. There's a whole lot of want to involved in defending. Too many teams shoot a very high percentage against us for it to be a coincidence. We know we don't play good defense, but when you have a week to prepare and you're playing against a team that can really shoot it, you figured you'd see a better effort than that. We didn't get that last night. And so, you know, again, NC State made them pay dearly. Now, I don't suspect typically that a team's going to continue to shoot it from beyond the arc time and again the way that NC State did. They scored at will, though, from everywhere on the floor. It wasn't just beyond the arc. Now, I know some of that opened up the other shots, but when a team is shooting nearly 57% for the half and go 5 of 8 from beyond the arc, you're going to be in big trouble. We also turned it over 8 times. Those were converted into 11 points for NC State in the first half. So it was a pretty miserable showing all the way across the board.
Yeah, no, it was one of those snowball effect games where you can't hit a shot yourself. You get behind, they're hitting their shots, even contested ones. I know most of them weren't, but you know, it's the coaching staff is looking for the right 5 on the floor. They're rotating like crazy to find something that's going to work out. It looked like a group that wasn't ready to play. Point blank.
Well, NC State shot for the game, almost 60%. I mean, what are we doing out here? It's hard to fathom, right?
Some of them were contested, good possessions, but a lot of them weren't. And again, I mean, they're getting out on breaks off of our misses. It's what we usually do to opponents when we're playing our best. It was an overwhelming feeling. We traded baskets with them to start the second half. It looked like we were much more in the game, but to me, it just, from watching other sports and seeing the way it is after a long layoff, or you come back from a road trip, something like that in the pros, it just looked like one team was in full stride in midseason form, and another one was just not ready to go.
I'll live with some of the outliers here. I mean, you're not going to go 0 of 15 from beyond the arc as Florida State did most days, although we're not shooting it well from out there right now. And so, that certainly hurts your cause. And NC State's not going to be as prolific as they were. But, again, it's just too commonplace. I'll give you an example. 4th straight game that Florida State has allowed an opponent to hit at least 10 threes. You're talking about 10 for Notre Dame, 10 for Clemson, 12 for Pitt. Pitt can't shoot, and they sure shot it against us here. After a while, you start,
Yeah, it was 10 in the first half for Pitt, too.
I know. So, I mean, at some point, you are asking yourself how it is we allow teams to get very comfortable shooting these shots and making these shots. I mean, it's not a coincidence at some point.
Well, and I'm trying to be better about basketball in general and the way I approach the game of basketball. So let's see on Wednesday if this is some kind of, trend where you go, oh, man, you're really going to tank at the wrong time of the season. I think they're going to come back and play well on Wednesday. But one thing I am looking at is, remember last year, we were really starting to struggle offensively towards the end of the season, and that carried into the tournament. When we get by Gulf Coast, but then in the second game against Xavier, you're looking around. Who's able to hit that shot? No one is. Angola's got to turn it around and soon.
Well,
Terrence Mann has to turn it around and soon.
Terrence had no points in the first half, scored all 10 of his points in the second half last night. Angola's 1 for his last 20 from beyond the arc. You can coach it up. You can do a lot of different things, but if guys can't hit shots, then you're going to be in trouble. So some of that is out of the coach's hands, but they're not tough enough right now on defense, and that bothers me. They haven't been a good defensive team this year, period. I don't expect them to be elite. I need them to be tough. And they're not right now. And we've seen stretches when they choose to hunker down. So we know it's in them. The commitment to it is just not there consistently enough, and that's disappointing. You go back and look over it's funny. The first 10 minutes in these last few games, Notre Dame, after 10 minutes, what was it? You're down 13. You're down 8 against Clemson. You're down 11 against Pitt. You're down 14 against NC State in the first 10 minutes of the game. You're down at halftime in every one of those games as well. You're down 6, 12, 1, and 19 last night. It's just not a good way, not a good recipe. Certainly you don't get bailed out by playing Pitt every night to where you can remedy that situation.
Well, and Kofor can't go nuts in the second halves every single game, can he?
Right. I'm not willing to cast them into the, I hate you, I'm giving up on this team realm that some people email me about or tweet at me about in the midst of their frustration. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to ignore that they're 19-9. I'm not going to ignore that they'll probably finish the year 20-10 and 9-9 in the ACC, which, if you had told me before the season began, they're going to go 20-10, 9-9 in conference, and make the NCAA tournament with all that they've lost. I repeatedly say it. I would have taken you up on that and taken my chances as we move forward. And I'll still stay true to that. I think that's still a great accomplishment. Losing Bacon, losing Isaac, losing X, that's a lot of points to lose from your offense. Those are guys that any given night could carry the team. We wondered before the year began who that guy would be to replace any of those three when you need to have a basket, and you really just don't have that guy. There were moments this year where Angola was that guy. He has certainly not become that guy as the year has gone on now. Something's wrong, I think, between the years with him. What I mean by that is it's a confidence thing. I don't mean he's dumb. I just mean I think he's struggling mentally right now to believe in himself.
He needs a jump shot to fall.
He does.
It's a jump shot thing because he drove well in the second half last night.
Yes,
he did.
It was
free
smart,
throw
by
line.
the way. If you're shooting bricks from out there, take it to the basket. Utilize other elements of your game. But and I'm rooting for him because Angola and man, you just haven't seen them lately. And I don't know. I mean, it is a disappearing act. And believe me, the coaches are well aware that their two best options are really struggling right now. I don't know what you do to get them right, but damn.
Right. No, I agree. My number one concern, and I do apologize for the nasaliness today. I'm on the way back.
Right.
Is I don't want to see a trend 2 years in a row of us sputtering to the finish line after starting out with momentum. I mean, I get it. We didn't exactly do the same thing to start conference play that we did last season with the 6 straight against ranked opponents. However, after about 6-7 games in ACC play, we're feeling pretty good about ourselves, and we're able to punch above our weight class. We don't have as much talent as the top of the ACC, and yet we're competing with them game in and game out.
Yeah.
I just don't want to feel helpless as we enter the tournament itself.
Well, and then the frustrating aspect about that is I get it, and I understand what you're saying. I'd counter it by saying, well, I agree it stinks to be playing poorly as you enter the postseason, but making the postseason back-to-back years to the NCAA tournament ultimately would also show a trend in the right direction, just as that's a trend in the wrong direction at the end of years.
Well, yeah, that's not on my plate right now. I think we're going to make the NCAA tournament now, get blown out on Wednesday, and maybe, Saturday becomes all the more nerve-wracking.
Well, I think Saturday's going to be nerve-wracking. I know you don't. We were talking in the office just before the show started, and we'll get more into it later. You like us against Clemson Wednesday.
I just like this. What this team has shown throughout, just this schedule for this year. Team has a 1-year lifespan, right, Jimbo? Yeah. It's just when you expect them to zig, they will zag. And they always have, at all times, they have the capability of playing with the best in the country, and they have the capability of leaving you dumbfounded at things they don't do. It just doesn't seem that they stay in the same pattern, playing at the same caliber 2 or 3 games in a row. So I think they're going to turn it around and give you an honest effort on Wednesday. And Clemson's not looked quite that good the last 4 or 5 games. I don't know how good they really are.
Yeah, we're 2-6 on the road in the ACC, so I don't trust us to go on the road. I said that before, and they beat Louisville and surprised me. I understand it can happen. The win earlier this year against Virginia Tech, in retrospect, is a great road win because Virginia Tech's been good at home. Actually, Virginia Tech's oddly been okay at home, but 4-4, I think it's what I saw last night. But the point would be 2 road wins in this conference is a big deal, but by and large, we're 2 different teams. At home and away. I know a lot of people are much better at home than they are away. That is obvious. But 2-6, and some of those 6 have looked bad lately, especially Notre Dame, especially last night. It has not been pretty. And at the end of the day, again, I'm an advocate for this team because I think they're doing more with less right now. Last night's effort excluded. I really was. I could single this effort out and say this, by and large, frustrated me more than the game against Notre Dame, the game against Wake, you name it, whatever game you want to point to that you found to be frustrating. This one bothered me the most because you had a week off to get ready for it, and you did not come out with the requisite intensity on the defensive end that would be required to knock off a team that's playing really well right now like NC State. By the way, NC State on the year, 10-6 now in the ACC. They've won 4 straight games. They're in the top 50 of the RPI. They're 20-9. They're not a bad team. They're playing well. So it's not a bad loss per se. It's the way that they lost. It's the score. It's the lopsided nature of the game. It's the lack of defensive intensity that I'm singling out.
I think the important thing to remember, too, in ACC play is about when you get certain teams. You don't want to play North Carolina right now.
No.
You want to get them when we got them.
You want to get them when we got them, right.
You want to play Clemson right now. You don't want to play them early in the slate. You would love to play NC State in January. But late February, nobody wants to play NC State. So I think there's some of that that's, it lends context to the loss last night too.
Yeah.
But you're right. The manner, the margin, all that stuff, watching the actual flow of the first half, no, you can't walk away and just say, well, here are logical reasons 1 through 6 as to why this happened. It's not just about threes made and missed. It's not just about NC State's playing really well. It's not just about, we had a long layoff and maybe we were a little rusty. No, man. We needed that rest, and we thought that rest would give us the energy necessary to go win a game like last night's game.
Or give yourself a chance to win a game. Put yourself in a position to go win that game, sure, and they didn't even do that, didn't come close to doing it. And even though they played so much better in the second half, they still were outscored in the second half, 44-43. It was still, you're not guarding anybody.
No, it's an easy press conference, though, isn't it? We need to coach better, we need to play better.
That's the easiest
press
conference.
I didn't prepare them. They didn't play well enough. It's across the board.
And it's also, oddly, as much as I was aggravated, it's an easy game to kind of watch and just go, well, all right, that's what you're going to give me tonight, huh? All right, appreciate you. By 7:30, Tom, I'm like, all right.
Well, once we get it to, 15 in the second half, and they push it back, they hit a couple of threes, it's back to 21.
We're done dealing here. That's about the end of that. By the way, what that did technically was eliminate Florida State from any chance of that top 5 you were hoping for, top 4 in the double bye. That's not going to happen within the ACC tournament. NC State now has the tiebreaker against Florida State. If the Noles do finish 9-9, as I mentioned earlier, we would have the tiebreaker over Virginia Tech and Syracuse, head-to-head wins there, and with Louisville and Miami, since they split these games. FSU's wins over North Carolina would be the deciding factor in both cases in that situation. So you lose out on a tiebreaker if it comes down to you and Notre Dame because of the head-to-head. And unless we're able to knock off Clemson and Boston College, both of them, then all the 3 teams will be 9. well, then all that would be 3 teams at 9 and 7, right? That would be Miami, Virginia Tech, Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
All they have to do is win one of their final 2 games to finish ahead of us. So it's likely we're going to finish 8th or 9th.
I know.
Long-winded way of me saying
last night was the
we were
one.
Finish. It was. You had to win that.
It was all breaking the way I thought it was going to break, except, we need to do our part and win our game.
Yeah. Well, you're going to finish 8th or 9th in the ACC. You're going to be right in the middle there, and you're going to be an average team in a great conference. And, okay. All right.
Make Saturday about style points. Just go get it done on Wednesday.
I can't believe you're so optimistic about Wednesday. I love it. I love that you are. I am not. I've probably not been as crestfallen about a chance to play well late in the season as I am currently after last night's effort. I
just hope it's Louisville, too. You've been right so often about this team.
I have.
Let's just hope it's Louisville,
I was
too.
definitely wrong about that, and it's okay. It's you're not going to get them all right. It's a long season. I'd love to be wrong. Believe me, I'd really love to be wrong because, I advocate for this team. I'll also say this. Not only do I not think they're going to beat Clemson, I'm a little nervous about that final game against Boston College here. Not that I'm predicting us to lose it. I just have a feeling it's going to be uncomfortable. And that's going to piss me off as well, just because I don't like to be uncomfortable. It's about me, Tom. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
TNT. Why does Mahindra have not?
I decided on Mahindra just because of the sheer strength, the size, the ease of the workability, and it was more of a comfortable machine than the others.
You could lift just about anything with that thing. It has never let me down.
And now get the industry's best 7-year limited powertrain warranty on select models. TNT.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Tallahassee and surrounding communities for over 34 years. With access to more than 28 national and Florida-based insurance carriers, they have an independent advantage. Multiple lines of personal, commercial, and life insurance all under one roof. If you don't know insurance, know your agent. Williams Insurance Agency, 2901 East Park Avenue, Suite 2200. Call them today at 877-8555 or visit online at williamsinsuranceinc.com.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac is back at it, supporting the High School Scholar Athlete of the Month on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Listen every Wednesday to hear our monthly winners. Check them out at Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMCCadillac.com.
The Harlem Globetrotters will bring their amazing feats of basketball world tour to Tallahassee at the Tucker Civic Center on March 6th. Witness amazing Globetrotter moments that become unforgettable Globetrotter memories. Prepare to be amazed by the ball-handling wizardry and experience the antics that will have kids of all ages laughing the entire time. Don't miss the world-famous Harlem Globetrotters at the Tucker Civic Center on March 6th. Great seats at the box office or tuckerciviccenter.com.
Did you just get an Amazon Echo? Pretty neat, huh? Now you can find us on there. Just say, Alexa, enable ESPN Radio Tallahassee. Once you've enabled our skill, you can listen to us anytime you want. Simply say, Alexa, play ESPN Radio Tallahassee.
AmeriGas Propane would like to take this time to thank their valued customers for their business. At AmeriGas, serving their customers in a safe and responsible manner is their top priority. They're proud to be a part of the local community and participate in the many activities that support local charities and organizations that improve the neighborhoods where we all work, live, and play. For your propane needs, call on AmeriGas Propane. Call 877-1122.
Looking for new furniture or mattresses? Call Tallahassee Furniture Direct today at 545-7112. Brand new furniture and mattresses at ridiculously low prices. Mattress sets less than $200. Bedroom sets less than $400. Living room sets less than $600. And complete apartment packages 50% below retail. Tallahassee Furniture Direct, 545-7112. Quality furniture, low prices. Delivery is available. Tallahassee Furniture Direct, 545-7112.
Need a place to watch your favorite sporting event? Hobbit American Grill, voted best wings in Tallahassee by Tally Awards 3 years in a row. They have daily lunch specials, all under $9, happy hour drink specials, and happy hour on Friday, 2 p.m. to close. Darts are now available on West Pensacola Street. Hobbit American Grill keeps it local with a wide variety of locally crafted beers, plus a full bar. Hobbit American Grill, 3 locations to choose from: 400 Capitol Circle Southeast, 2020 West Pensacola Street, and 5032 Capitol Circle Southwest. Visit them online at myhobbitonline.com.
You're listening to The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Email jcs@979espnradio.com. I better not hear you say ding ding today, Cameron. No, man. We don't panic around here. I've shown you that. We don't panic. We get angry occasionally. We've talked about the frustration that obviously comes about after you watch an effort like last night. But no, we don't panic. I mean, Florida State is going to, in all likelihood, win one of these last 2 games, probably, in my opinion, the one at home against Boston College. If you lose the road game against Clemson, you'll finish the year 500 in the ACC. Given what Florida State's RPI is, given some of the Quadrant 1 victories that they have, Florida State will make the NCAA tournament. I don't figure them to make a lot of noise in either the ACC tournament or the NCAA tournament. Currently, I just don't feel very good about that because I don't think they guard anybody. And I'm losing faith that they're going to get hot from the field as they have before, and that carries them, and they get a win against somebody that maybe you wouldn't suspect. I mean, is it possible? Sure, it's possible, but I don't see signs of them coming out of that right now. It's very frustrating. But they're not also, and I guess to your point in the email, Tom, it was a Tom that emailed, not you, Tom.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying ding ding. No, they're going to make the tournament, and that'll be a good season. I'll have decidedly higher expectations next year, above and beyond just making the tournament. But in fairness, I think when we've talked about the reasonable expectations at a place like Florida State, without further investment, if you will, we've said that I think making the tournament 3 out of every 5 years seems about reasonable. We'd love to get it to a situation where you almost assume as much year in and year out most years, 4 out of 5. But that's what we're in the process of trying to build towards.
But I think in fairness, too, you have seen more of an investment in the last 3 to 5 years.
Oh, certainly and now, way above and beyond where it was, sure.
But you're seeing the results of that. I mean,
where you could withstand losing such pivotal figures in your lineup and still have a team requisite skill to compete at this level and be a middling team in the ACC.
Yeah, again, 3 out of 4, 3 out of 5 years, somewhere in there, about where on average you should be making the tournament. That's right where we are, as long as you don't blow it. Again, this is something I said last week, too, where I'm just looking at bracketology. Now we're a 7 seed today. We were a 6 over the weekend. And short of winning out, including the game yesterday where we get blown out, or losing out, we're going to be somewhere between a 7 and a 10. I mean, that's all you got to do is just win one more game, and you're a 9 or a 10 seed, and whatever. That's no big deal. So, again, just don't lose out. I feel okay. We're ahead of the pace. We're ahead of the bubble. We're way out in front of the bubble right now.
Well, that's what the Clemson win did for you. It was why it was so huge. Getting that win was everything because of, A, where it stood in the RPI, B, what it did for your ability then to just have to win one more. And you're right. I said it before. I'll say it again. If you'd called me day of the opening game of college basketball and said, Jeff, here's what I'm going to give you. Take it or leave it. You can roll the dice and plan to do better, or certainly you could do worse. I'm going to give you a 500 record in the ACC. I'm going to give you 20 wins. You like it?
Before the conference tournament too.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, I would have said sure. I'll take that all day long.
Because bubble teams like to pad up to the 20th win in the conference tournament.
Yeah. And I'm not one of these people who, based on, again, what I've seen so far with quadrant 1 wins and RPI, that think that we actually have to do anything in the ACC tournament. I don't. If you take care of business and beat Boston College,
if you split this week,
if you split this week, I think you're all right. I don't think you get excluded from the tournament. Now, again, I hate being in a position where you're walking into the TLC Double C at the end of the year and it's the final regular season game and you're of the mindset that this is win or else you're perhaps looking around the corner for the ding-ding. Ain't nobody want to see the ding-ding? We were all aboard.
That's not what you do.
No, we were all aboard the choo-choo. We were ready to go.
Certainly
we had our bags packed.
Certainly not in an iMessage.
No, can't happen. Don't want it. Don't need it. Not looking for it. Not going to see it. Good job, Austin Pollock. 1 earned run, 6 innings. FSU wins on Sunday over Troy, completes the sweep on the season. Predictably, Florida State is 7-0 to start the year. I say predictably, baseball is a sport where that we could lose to anybody, but Florida State always gets off usually to good starts because you have teams that are outmatched and taking care of business. But more importantly, you're finding arms and you're looking at guys in the wake of the Tyler Holton injury, season-ending injury, that can step up and give you something to latch on to and feel good about. And yesterday for Austin, it was not a stage that was too big, and that's what I like to see. So good on you, young man, and good stuff. And so early on, I'm pleased.
It's what it's about right now.
Yeah.
You know, for those role players who may become more important fixtures in what we do either in the lineup or in the rotation, you know, just keep passing these check marks, these tests. This is the preliminary. This is the first couple of weeks of the season. Do you look comfortable enough playing college baseball? That's it. Once you get into conference season or you're playing a Tuesday night against, say, Florida or Jacksonville on the road, or, you know, usually we schedule a team like a UCF or a Stetson who's pretty good in a given year. Can you pass that test? Yes? Great. Now we need you in a Sunday because our starter screwed up. You know, he's out after 2 1/3. Can you give me 3 innings when I have to have
What
it?
do you got for me? Yeah.
Pass that. That's what this is all about. I mean, it's a journey. That's why I love the college baseball season. It's just a complete journey, and you have a series of tests for a lot of players, and Austin Pollock passes test number 1.
Let's talk Florida State football in a moment. I'll leave you with this quote as we go to break. I tell you what, it's been different than any other place I've taken over at, says Willie Taggart. These kids want to do right. They want to do what they decided to do when they came to Florida State. That's to win a championship and to graduate. You can see that they're eager to do those things. We've just got to continue to work, continue to come together, get to know each other, and do things we know that we're supposed to do. Got to admit, between that and the really well put together and produced pieces that Seminoles.com continues to throw out, and I don't work for that website or the university, but I got to say, I am all in on these videos. You got me.
It was like when they first introduced those locker room videos from 2010 and on.
Yeah. It's really been well done, and you love sort of the rhetoric, admittedly, that it is, but you can see there is that renewed sense of focus and energy and enthusiasm around the program that's been missing.
We're not sick of these guys yet.
Oh, without question. No, you lose to the wrong team, and how quickly we'll say, get your videos the hell out of here. But I am all in on the videos now.
Look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
TNT Supercenter is your one-stop shop for the largest inventory of golf carts and accessories, stocking over 150 new and pre-owned carts with prices starting under $2,000. Whether you're looking for a standard or custom golf cart, TNT has the perfect cart for you. TNT carries and services leading brands and a full line of premium Mad Jacks accessories. Stop by or call to find out about our zero-down, low-interest rate financing, free delivery, and rental programs. Visit TNTSupercenter.com.
TNT. I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're
There are marketing problems, and we would love to help your business next. It's easy. Just pick up the phone and call me at 561-8400 during normal business hours, or go to espntallahassee.com anytime and shoot me an email. No matter your advertising budget, we can help you solve your marketing problems and have fun doing it. Let my team of professionals go to bat for your business. Call me today, Alan Willis at 561-8400, and get your business off the bench and into the game today with WTSM 97.9 ESPN Radio.
The time is now for a new boat.
March 2nd through 4th, this area's largest boat dealers will display a huge selection at the North Florida Fairgrounds for the Tallahassee Regional Boat Show.
Shop, compare, and make your best deal on the greatest boats and motors.
Key West, Sundance,
Hurricane Deck Boats,
G3, Skeeter, Parker, Sea Hunt,
Carolina Skiff, and Seabourn.
Participating dealers include Big Bend Marine, Cruise Marine, Jack's Boats and Trailers, Mike's Marine, Shields Marina, and Stowaway Marine.
Plus, find easy on-site financing opportunities too. The Tallahassee Regional Boat Show, March 2nd through 4th at the North Florida Fairgrounds.
And the admission and parking is free.
Today, when you buy any golf cart at TNT Supercenter in Thomasville, they will deliver it to you for free. Yes, free delivery within a 50-mile radius of Thomasville and TNT Supercenter. This means you, Tallahassee, and you too, Valdosta. And it gets even better. For a limited time, when you purchase your cart at TNT Supercenter, you'll receive huge discounts, up to 30% off on all your accessories. We're talking major discounts on wheels, tires, lifts, seats, you name it, on everything you'll need to customize and personalize your new golf cart. TNT Supercenter has new carts, pre-owned carts, club car and Yamaha carts, even Star EV carts. And when you buy today at TNT Supercenter, they will deliver it for free within a 50-mile radius of Thomasville. Are you listening, Valdosta? Did you hear me, Tallahassee? Over 150 carts in stock with free delivery and huge discounts on accessories. Only at TNT Supercenter, US 19 South, next to the Dairy Queen in Thomasville. View inventory and pricing at TNTSupercenter.com.
TNT.
Jumpstart the new you with Muscle Maker Grill. Muscle Maker Grill's diverse menu is created for everyone from fitness enthusiasts to those just trying to eat better. Sign up now for the Muscle Maker Grill meal plan. Whether you're bulking up, slimming down, or saving time, we've got the right option for you. The best part? You can customize the amount of daily meals and the length of your plan for total control of your health. From low carb to high protein, low fat to gluten free, we have the meal choices that will fit perfectly to your lifestyle and needs. To learn more, visit us at 2020 West Pensacola Street or on the web at musclemakergrill.com. Muscle Maker Grill, providing great food with your health in mind.
Nobody knows your car the way you do. The way it handles and tracks with mutters, not all terrains. How it only sounds right with a custom exhaust, and wouldn't ride the same without air suspension. Or how you had it painted pearl candy red, not just red. Because yeah, there's a difference. We know your car isn't just a car, it's a 3,000-pound extension of you. When your passion meets our inventory, you can do anything. Thousands of parts make your car, and they're all right here at eBay Motors.
By the time that we got up there, his room was filled with smoke.
The wind had blown and drifted the snow up against the side of my house, blocking the exhaust from my furnace.
I heard the smoke alarm going off in my friend's apartment.
Without the kid's smoke alarm, my son would not be here today.
Had it not been for that carbon monoxide detector, they would come to school and not have their teacher there.
I grabbed my fire extinguisher and put out the fire.
Kidda makes technology that saves lives.
Get these essential products at the Home Depot.
As utility customers continue to use more energy to offset the recent cold weather, the City of Tallahassee offers you a few tips to help you save energy, water, and money. Sign up today for a free energy audit. After the audit, they'll provide recommendations for energy and water-saving improvements, and it's all free. Take advantage of the Winter Relief Assistance Program, or WRAP. This alternative payment program allows all residential and non-demand small business utility customers to carry over up to 25% of their utility bill in January and February to the following month's bill. To request this option, customers should call 891-4968 after they receive their bill. Try switching to natural gas. The City of Tallahassee offers rebates on natural gas appliances. To find out if natural gas is available in your area, visit talgov.com/YOU. Check out the City of Tallahassee's Ceiling Insulation Grant Program. The city may pay up to 80% of the installation's cost, up to $400. Having an energy-saving winter is easy with all of these great products and services. Call 891-4U. That's 891-4968 to learn more and be winter ready.
Might I suggest the chicken taco salad from Banditos Burritos, my friend?
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
You know, from a PR standpoint, sometimes I look at these things and you can identify when schools are doing something right, doing something wrong. Some of these things seem like low-hanging fruit, easy can't-miss propositions. Other times you see schools botch that and you think, well, we're off on a terrible foot here. I don't understand how you could screw this up. Everybody wants to buy in. Well, Florida State's getting it right about now with what they've slowly leaked to the media. You had the meeting with Willie Taggart and Bobby Bowden, the stills that came out of that with the two of them laughing and hanging out on the couch, and Willie Taggart's quotes that accompany that story, which are obviously paying homage to the king, if you will, and talking about the need for him to be in his corner and to preside over this and look over him. That's smart on Willie's part. It's smart on Florida State's part. And listen, it may very well also be true, but it is a PR move. It's the right thing to do. In addition to that, the videos that I just referenced a moment ago that you see from Seminoles.com and the stories that get leaked out to the other affiliates that cover the team, the videos that you watch with Walt Bell talking to the team and Greg Fry's quote today, I thought it was interesting. He mentioned that, you know, as the team building exercises continue and whether the guys are buying into it or not, he said that comes in stages. Guys are starting to feel more comfortable with one another. There are a lot of serious moments, but there are a lot of team moments too, where guys are laughing, having fun, competing at a high level, doing those sorts of things together. It's nice to see all that roll into one. This shouldn't be something you swing and miss on. I mean, this is when you're a new staff and you're a new coach and you're coming off a season that was disastrous, kids are eager to buy into a new message because clearly something was broken, something wasn't working. So you ought not screw that up. But it's one thing not to screw it up. It's another hit a home run. And right now, and I'm fairly critical of these kinds of things because we're jaded enough for 20 years of doing radio programs to know what's what, right, when it comes to PR. They're nailing this. This stirs you, that your inner knoll gets stirred with this stuff, and you're trying to get everybody on the same page right as the deadline approaches for season tickets. You want everybody in for the spring game that we're building towards. You want all parties involved to say, yeah, all right, last year did indeed suck, but I'm all in for this year, and they've got that moving in the right direction, and it is important. It's important because you want to get off on the right foot. You want the positive energy that comes from people being united within the fan base. When you've got a divide, when you've got frustration, when you've got concerns and doubt, that plays out in a way that is palpable. You can feel that. It usually results in a negative energy surrounding the program. If you build it in the other way, where everybody's on board, everybody believes, even those that were doubting, even those that were unsure, and the only thing that will really win them over is wins ultimately, but at least to come at it with an open mind, an open heart, and to accept and say, I'm in. All right, you got my support. This has been the right miniature campaign to start.
I totally agree. I know it's a campaign, and I'm buying into it anyway. It reminds me of the John Oliver sports piece that he did in the World Cup, where he's like, all this evil is happening behind the scenes, and I'm not likening evil to Florida State, but you get where I'm going.
Yeah.
All these bad things have to happen with this organization.
Wait for the World Cup, right? Yeah.
And I know it. And yet, when we played Germany on July the 12th, I can't wait for it, and I fall for it. Well, this is what's happening here now. If this coaching staff were to fail, or 3 to 5 years from now it gets tired, you need a disciplinarian to come in, and you're going to sell videos with militaristic yelling about, we got to get it together around here.
Yeah.
No more. Don't take a minute off. And people would buy into that. I mean, if you're a pro sports fan, and I was a pro sports fan first growing up, this always happens. And you talk about it all the time.
Yeah, player's coach is followed by a militaristic disciplinarian, which is followed by a player's coach once that message gets old.
And I know it's happening. I know. That's next. It's about having fun right now, right? Because we're getting out from under the process.
Well,
and
it's really
the cold, stale way of the process.
Right. We needed the process at the time because we had fallen so far behind.
Of course we did.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was the first camp I covered was the spring of 10.
Yeah.
And I can remember how everybody was eating that up.
And by the way, process, I will say, this is also a process.
Correct.
It's just called something different in the way they go about the lingo and kind of dispensing the information.
Willie will say trust the process too, but again, it's not the same way as Saban uses the term the process.
Right.
He has such a stranglehold, and so does his coaching tree over what that means. But that means clamp down, get serious. And we all bought into that, but we were right to. We needed it. It doesn't mean that you always have to be a guy who likes a militaristic coach or a player's coach. It's somebody who knows what you need for the situation you have in front of you.
Well, it's why we thought the hire was a good hire, is that you've got to – listen, this is his MO. When he's gone into places to fix problems, this has been the message that he's delivered. He's wanted the facilities wherever they were, whether that was Oregon or at USF or at Western Kentucky where he played. He's wanted that to be a family atmosphere, a place where the players felt comfortable, coaches felt comfortable, their families felt comfortable, or people wanted to be. People wanted to hang out. People felt a sense of togetherness. And again, ultimately, no matter if it's the opposite approach, if it is the militaristic approach, if it is the buttoned up, we are serious at all times approach that you're talking about, that we see so often in the NFL when they replace a player's coach, or if it is the player's coach approach, what you want initially is everybody on the same page and everybody believing and buying in. That's ultimately what you want. And then, of course, that has to translate in wins. If it doesn't, all that feel-good stuff or all of that belief goes away.
Change might not be good for the stock market. It doesn't like uncertainty, but change is good for anything else. Change sells. That's the marketing pitch. Change does sell. But when we talk about it and analyze it, we can say, well, this is the change we need right now.
I like the idea, too, Tom. One thing I'll say that is maybe outside of what we're talking about here, just in general, I'm seeing a lot of these exercises where, you've got players competing against one another while the rest of the team is cheering them on and inspiring and encouraging. That always plays well in football. It just does. It's camaraderie that you're trying to build, intensity, and competition. It's all infused in an exercise like that where you've got an end of a tire and I've got a piece of the tire and I'm trying to wrestle it from you and you're trying to wrestle it from me and we're going back and forth and everybody's cheering wildly and somebody else is up next. Oklahoma drill's been like that forever and a day, and you name it. Everybody gets into that. You're going to win your fair share of battles. You're going to lose your fair share of battles, but along the way, you're going to get picked up by the guy next to you and the guy after you. And that always works, and I'm seeing a lot of that. I'm seeing coaches. I saw Walt Bell running with his players. That, too, goes a long way, and it's kind of rare. Not every coach can do that. It's not required, but I always loved it. I always loved it when I saw a coach out there. You're out there at 5 o'clock in the morning working out. it meant something to see somebody else out there hoofing it with you, even though they don't have to, right? You felt like, okay, this guy's all in too. All right. I have no excuses if this dude's out here running. You know what I mean? So I'm liking what I'm seeing here. There's no doubt. I sound like a flag waver right now, but for good reason. I'm kind of doffing the cap here. Good on you, Willie Taggart and staff early. I think you're striking the right chords. I can tell you already, I think they've struck the right chords with the media, which, like the media, hate the media, somewhat indifferent about the media, wherever you stand on all of that. The point is the media is covering your team, and they are going to write about your team. And I think kind of getting off on the right foot is always a good idea because we're all human beings, man. There's no way around this. And if you get off on the wrong foot, it goes a long way in the way that you're covered. And if you get off on the right foot, certainly gives you a fighting chance to get the benefit of the doubt if things start a little shaky.
Well, and these are all little contributing factors. The way you market yourself, the way you go to the media and use the media or don't. All these things, are little pieces. If you're Nick Saban, it doesn't matter what the hell you do because
so you win.
You have no choice but to cover a team positively when they just win and win and
well,
win
that has always been the case, and that's kind of, again, not going down that rabbit hole with Jimbo, but the thought was always if you win, you treat people however the hell you want to treat them. Unfortunately, that's just the reality of the world, and Nick and anybody else who wins at, look at Bill Parcells and Bill Belichick and others. I mean, those guys had frosty relationships, interesting relationships with the press. They always have. They've treated them in an adversarial way at times, right? Well, when you win to the extent that they did, well, you can do that. Fool around and start losing and see how quickly that comes back to bite you in the ass. Only Saban's been able to do that for prolonged periods of time, and you have no choice.
No, there's no doubt, but we all go through the cycle together. Again, now that I'm getting into my 30s and I feel like an advanced citizen in this world, man, I've seen it now. I've seen it play out. And, I mean, listen, I'm a Bucks fan. I'm a Lightning fan. I'm a Mets fan. Not exactly bastions of consistency in coaching ranks. I've seen a lot of coaching changes with my teams over the years. The Noles have been the exception. There's been a ton of stability at Florida State, like across the board, but specifically with the football program, there's been a lot of stability.
Fun. I really think, Tom, I've been covering this team for 20 years, and I absolutely love what we're going through right now. Now, I also loved that Coach Bowden was able to retain an elite staff for years and years and years, and it showed continuity and consistency, and that led to unprecedented success in the annals of college football, period. 14 straight top 4 finishes will probably never be duplicated. And so you could embrace that, and it was comforting to understand you had that stability that so many other schools lacked and other programs wanted. At the same time, not going to lie, you're right, change is fun. Change can be a lift in and of itself, and we were in need of it. We just came off a 6-6 season, 5-6 with the guy previous. So, I'm embracing this and going through this for the first time. For the first time, we didn't even get to go through this when Jimbo came on board because he was already on staff. So you already knew who the guy was. He had already been identified. We went through a few years of that. So there was no splash, nothing new, no influx en masse of a new coach and his staff as he put it together. We're going through that in the media, just as the fans are, for really the first time, and it's exhilarating.
Right. And again, just look at this period of time and try and see it as somebody who covers the region and not just Tallahassee and our own Noles.
Yeah.
What was needed in this moment for Florida State? Was Jimbo picking up speed or slowing down?
Right.
He's slowing down. Even I think his biggest supporters would say that, hey, man, the growth, there is a diminishing return, but we're slowing down beyond that. And the recruiting pitches become so much more important now based upon what you see in the state of Florida and the Southeast in general with the rise of Clemson. Miami's got a new pitch. Florida's got a new pitch. You had to have a new pitch, and we have that. We also needed to get right between our ears as a program. We needed to get right.
That's where I think sustainability is the most interesting aspect of the modern coach. You just haven't been – you don't – other than Nick. You really just don't see it. Prolonged periods of time. You look around in college football at all the newer coaches, and some guys are in year 2 coming up like Herman and guys like that. You wonder, what's the lifespan? What do you got?
Do you see him in Texas in 2025? Tom Herman.
Yeah, how many? Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I even do that with Kirby right now. Everything's roses at Georgia, and they've got a chance to compete for national titles, the way that they're set up with the way they've recruited and the quarterback situation that they have at Georgia is the envy of college football because they've got not one but two guys, one who's proven himself in his freshman campaign and another who everybody has targeted as a can't-miss prospect. So they're set up for the next 3 to 4 years, bare minimum. But after that, how long is that remain fresh and invigorating and inviting for recruits? How long? We'll see.
Well, I think obviously that's a really fun discussion, but I think the number one thing is how long does Saban keep it going in Alabama? And if he can't, if it does eventually end here.
He shows no signs of wanting to leave, and now he's got a quarterback who can really actually throw the football with consistency.
So in 2021, after this quarterback leaves, and that's, if there is a vacuum, what's the vacuum effect, and how does everything fall from there?
It'll be fun, man. But
that's going to heavily influence here, Georgia, Clemson, you name it.
Yeah, and when you look around college football, you see where the successes have happened, where Urban Meyer obviously won a national title at Ohio State. Jimbo Fisher here winning a national title as quickly as he did. We see these moments in time, these snapshots where a guy comes in, revamps, changes, and has a shot to win a title. Kirby almost won one in year 2. So your window is pretty small, and usually when you're white hot and everybody's all in with belief and vision and message, it can happen. It dies off pretty quickly. You can sustain something of a success. Dabo has clearly done that, and he's kind of been the exception here as of late in terms of sustained excellence and winning a little bit later in the process as he put that program together. I wonder what Willie Taggart's window is, if we would be willing to define it. He hasn't even coached a game here yet. It's probably completely unfair. But given that he's put together a staff of elite recruiters, and he himself is an elite recruiter, obviously a big part of sustainability is bigger, stronger, faster. I've got better players than you. And Clemson, especially on the defensive line, has just had better players.
Yeah.
And they've been able to retain those players more importantly, and that's allowed for that sustainability I talk about that is seldom there in the modern coach.
But you have a defensive coordinator who has done more with less. That's why that hire was so important. To get Barnett, who has been able to routinely play in top 10 games and win top 10 games that you didn't pick Michigan State to win over the last 3 to 4 years, when by all accounts in East Lansing, he's become more important in installing game plans and actually being responsible for what you see on the field. That was a really important hire. But to me, I know this goes against the way college football traditionally is thought of. Everybody wants the coach who's going to be here for 20 years and win a lot, like, a Saban level of winning. That's what everybody wants. But if you can promise me that I have a Jimbo rise and fall every time we have a new coach.
I'll take it.
8 years.
Puts
every
a premium
8 years.
on getting it right each time you have to make the change. See Florida, for example. They got it right with Urban Meyer. Comes over from Utah, wins 2 national titles, flames out, fakes a heart attack, leaves, goes and works at ESPN, then gets a job at Ohio State. However, the follow-up to that, swing and a miss, right?
He could have won 3. He won 2. We could have won 3. We won 1. Because if you think about 2012 and how hard, we tried to screw that up. And if we just played the national title game against Notre Dame in 2012, you have a chance there. 14, we're in the playoff.
Yeah.
You turn the ball over 8 million times out in the Rose Bowl, you lose the game.
Ouch.
But you give yourself 3 really good chances to win the title.
To make a go of it,
Yeah, out of 8 years? Okay, can you give me that again here? And then do we go find the next guy? Like, I'm not afraid of that. I know college football fans are like, no, I want a guy who's going to be here for 15 years.
Well, in the beginning, everybody says that, but I don't think we think that's reasonable anymore. I mean, again, we'll see, but it doesn't feel like that is the norm anymore.
No.
It will be interesting to see. I mean, he hasn't coached a game yet. We don't need to be talking about the end of the Willie Taggart era. It's just interesting where you try to get your mind at the beginning.
Yeah, but now we see the end more readily than we did as Florida State fans. That was something that was unique to here. That's gone now, right?
Oh, without question. No. Your eyes are open now. By the way, my favorite quote from Willie Taggart about the chase and the workouts and all the stuff that I'm alluding to just now. Marvin Wilson has been great. James Blackman, he's been great throughout the whole chase. I'll tell you, the one kid I've been really impressed with is Jaden Woodby. Woo! That gets you excited.
A little James Blackman message being sent, huh?
Absolutely, and it's good to hear Marvin Wilson's name thrown out there on the defensive side. Hour number 2 forthcoming. Stay with.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford. The place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
TNT.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
TNT.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
This is number CAC 057652.
As utility customers continue to use more energy to offset the recent cold weather, the City of Tallahassee offers you a few tips to help you save energy, water, and money. Sign up today for a free energy audit. After the audit, they'll provide recommendations for energy and water-saving improvements, and it's all free. Take advantage of the Winter Relief Assistance Program, or WRAP. This alternative payment program allows all residential and non-demand small business utility customers to carry over up to 25% of their utility bill in January and February to the following month's bill. To request this option, customers should call 891-4968 after they receive their bill. Try switching to natural gas. The City of Tallahassee offers rebates on natural gas appliances. To find out if natural gas is available in your area, visit talgov.com/YOU. Check out the City of Tallahassee's Ceiling Insulation Grant Program. The city may pay up to 80% of the installation's cost, up to $400. Having an energy-saving winter is easy with all of these great products and services. Call 891-4U. That's 891-4968 to learn more and be winter ready.
By the time that we got up there, his room was filled with smoke.
The wind had blown and drifted the snow up against the side of my house, blocking the exhaust from my furnace.
I heard the smoke alarm going off in my friend's apartment.
Without the kid's smoke alarm, my son would not be here today.
And had it not been for that carbon monoxide detector, they would come to school and not have their teacher there.
I grabbed my fire extinguisher and put out the fire.
Kidda makes technology that saves lives.
Get these essential products at the Home Depot.
It's time for some straight talk. Excited about a bigger tax refund? Now you can make it go even further with more high-speed data than ever before. Straight Talk's Ultimate Unlimited plan is just $55 a month on America's best networks. Get up to $200 off a Samsung Galaxy S7 when you activate in store. Straight Talk Wireless, only at Walmart.
Video typically streams at DVD quality. Offer valid until 4/18/18. At 60 gigabytes, we may review accounts for violations of terms and conditions found at straighttalk.com.
Yamaha Outboard. Live and breathe life on the water. The Key to Reliability sales event is going on at Mike's Marine Supply in Panacea through March 31st. For a limited time, purchase a new select eligible 2.5 to 300 horsepower Yamaha Outboard and choose either 5 years of warranty protection or up to $1,500 in dealer credit. Mike's Marine Supply, the only full-line Yamaha dealer in this area. 1296 Coastal Highway, Panacea, Florida. Call them at 984-5637 or online at mikesmarineflorida.com.
Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Free agent outfielder J.D. Martinez officially signs his 5-year, $122 million deal with the Red Sox today. The two sides agreed a week ago, but team officials wanted to review medical information on Martinez's injured right foot. The Chiefs will get a 4th-round pick this year and a 2nd-round pick next year when they trade corner Marcus Peters to the Rams. The Rams also get a 6th-round pick this year in that deal, which can't become official until March 14th. Over the weekend, Tiger Woods finished 12th at the Honda Classic, his 3rd tournament of the year. Golf Channel's Brandel Chambly believes Woods will be holding trophies sometime this year.
Hell yeah, he's going to win more golf tournaments, no question about it. And I never thought I'd say that again. The fact that he's hitting it so far, he's got the speed back, the chipping's back. Yes, of course, he's going to win. There's just no doubt in my mind that he'll win at some time this year.
Brandel Chambly on Golic and Wingo. A college basketball doubleheader tonight on ESPN starting at 7 Eastern. Duke at Virginia Tech, followed by Texas at Kansas.
The FBI probe into the NCAA took years, so how did schools clear players to be back on the court in a matter of days? More on the NCAA investigation. Plus, U.S. curling skip John Schuster joins Tuesday on Golic and Wingo, 6 Eastern, ESPN Radio, ESPN2.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Show 97.9 ESPN Radio. Hope you're doing well on this Monday. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free. Always don't miss anything. Sometimes you do. When that happens, go back, get caught up. All 3 hours posted every day upon the conclusion of the show, both on iTunes, also on our website, ESPNTallahassee.com. All the archived audio right there. Email the show if you want, JCS at 979ESPNRadio.com. You can find me on Twitter at JCameronShow. WTSM app, good for mobile devices. You can watch us performing the radio duties on YouTube. Type in ESPN Tallahassee when you get to YouTube, and you can watch us. Good stuff there. I haven't even mentioned the federal investigation into college basketball, which on Friday we would have. We're on the air on Friday. But obviously, anytime it involves prominent programs like North Carolina, Kentucky, Michigan State, and Duke, to name a few, raises an eyebrow. Then again, it's nothing that you didn't already know. And when you have Sean Miller step aside and all that good stuff at Arizona, fascinating. For me, it's kind of a roll your eyes moment. We'll bring in Ira Chaffel here in a second, but it's not like we didn't already know this, so nothing is being uncovered necessarily other than the specifics of how cheating goes on in college basketball allegedly. But when I was thinking about it, you've got Tom Izzo makes over $4 million a year. You've got, Steve Alford makes almost $3 million a year. Shaka Smart makes $3 million a year. Just naming college basketball coaches, not singling out anybody specifically. And then you have a quote in that article from Yahoo in which it says at least 6 players were identified in the documents as receiving payments of $10,000. You go, And we're supposed to feel about this how? If the FBI or the NCAA think there's going to be outrage over this kind of thing when those guys are making that and these kids are getting $10,000?
Well, what I want to hear, too, is there's a lot of talk and people are willing to say, well, I heard from a friend of a friend more nowadays than they were about college basketball because this kind of frees them.
Yeah.
There are players who are so good that it costs a price just to talk to them. It's like, if you just want to talk to me.
Just to say, hey,
right, yeah.
Would you be interested?
Man, those little gossipy details, I look forward to finding out, hopefully on the way towards, getting some resolution to this problem that's been pervasive.
Ongoing for a very long time. Ira Chaffel, warchant.com, the website. Hello, good sir. How are you?
I'm good, Jeff. How are you?
I'd be better if that ass beating didn't take place last night, man. I know you feel all right. I don't like where this team's going. It's all in perspective, though. I mean, if they make the tournament again, it's a successful season. I do think they're going to make the tournament. I just don't like the way they're playing right now, and I don't know. I don't really see a remedy because they don't play on the defensive end.
No, I mean, they've been pretty average to below average defensively for most of the year, so that's not a shock. I just think they, as far as last night goes, if you take last night in a capsule. Just look at that one specific game. I mean, man, if they just shoot closer to their average from three, and Florida State shoots closer to their average from three, it's the game's right there. So to me, that's not. It didn't shock me. The final score it makes you. It takes you back because it wasn't competitive. But again, the way Florida State shot from the perimeter, they're not going to be competitive against anybody. You can't play college basketball in 2018 and go 0 for 15 from three and think you're going to be in a game. So from that standpoint, I wasn't, too shocked. They just had an awful night shooting. And the defensive stuff doesn't surprise me either because, again, they haven't been very good defensively all season, certainly not very good defending the three. So it's, it's kind of who they are. I do think that, when you go into, when you look at the big picture, though, they've just got to win one of these last three games. They get Boston College at home. You feel really good about their chances. At the same time, man, if you lose to Clemson, there's going to be a world of pressure on this team going into that game.
Yeah, and my bigger problem is, you're right, it's evident that this team doesn't defend against anybody and hasn't all year long. At times they've been able to overcome it because of the way that they play and had been able to score the basketball and the tempo they play at. But in these last four games, in the wake of the home loss to Virginia on February 7th, FSU has really struggled in these first halves. To score the basket. You look at them, they're down through 10 minutes, 13 points to Notre Dame. They're down 8 to Clemson. They're down 11 to Pitt in certainly what was an outlier, but it starts to become a pattern. 14 last night through the first 10 minutes. This is now a trend where they start these games and they dig themselves a double-digit hole against almost everybody, and they allow teams to get very comfortable with shot selection and the kinds of looks. And I just don't know why it hasn't been sunken in at some point yet that you have to have more defensive intensity to give yourself a chance. You're just not seeing it.
Yeah, to be honest, though, I know like everybody's first inclination is to talk about intensity, but I don't know that it was a lack of effort. I didn't see them dogging it last night. I just think they're not fundamentally sound. Some of the things they do. I don't think it's that they weren't trying. I just don't think they're where they need to be. They're very young. A lot of those guys have not played a ton of basketball, and I think that the combination of that and not having a shot blocker to erase things. I mean, Kamaje can do it at times, but in situations like that last night where he's having to guard 15, I don't really know what they were doing there.
I have no idea what they were doing there.
So I think maybe they're just trying some different things, but that's it's been an issue all along. I can't tell you exactly how to fix it, but the problem is where it hurts them when they struggle defensively, and if teams hit shots, is then they can't get out and run, and that's when they're really good.
Yeah, transition.
And that's when they have to play in the half court, and you don't get a whole lot out of Terrence Mann, you don't get a whole lot out of Brian Angola. This thing kind of comes to a screeching halt.
Have you heard anything around the program as to what in the world is going on with those two individuals? Mann didn't score in the first half last night. Brian Angola's 1 for his last 20 from beyond the arc.
Yeah, I don't get it because, again, I mean, Terrence, I know, has had a foot injury, and we've all talked about that, and I think he's finally acknowledged it a little bit. But I thought when we saw him in the second half of that last game against Pitt, he seemed like he came back to life. I mean, he was jumping real explosive.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if that's what it is or not. I do know, look, and I'm not a basketball coach, obviously, but I know that once you get later in the season and people have tape and they've broken down exactly what you like to do and where you want to get the ball and where you want to go with it, teams can take those things away. So I'm sure that teams are taking away some of the things that they really liked that worked early in the season, but then you've got to come up with something off of that, and they clearly haven't done it.
Frustrating. Again, big picture, if they make the tournament, it's a successful season given all that they lost. That's not lost on me. But when we watch these deficits build up, and we talk about, teams taking away things from Florida State. Florida State's not taking things away from other teams right now, and it's just aggravating to watch. And we know they can play better than that. Anything you're seeing from the chase that you enjoy?
Well, we're not actually getting to see the chase.
Well,
it sounds like.
Yeah, I don't mean you running alongside with camera. I just mean what you're hearing over there, yeah.
Well, yeah, and just, I thought some of the comments, we did, Gene and Aslan went down Friday night and to the Coach Bowden, the special event they had for Coach Bowden down Friday night, and Willie Taggart, Odell Higgins, Greg Fry, some of the coaches went down there as well to kind of support Coach Bowden and that evening. And, one of the comments that, Willie Taggart made, I thought that was really interesting. We had it in the headline of the story today, was where he said, it really has been different than any other start to any other school he's been at in
Yeah.
terms of guys really buying in right away. They know what they want to do. It's not necessarily coming in and trying to kind of reinvigorate them. They were hungry, and that's one of the things that I talked to somebody who talks to some of the players, and they told me the other day that the players were saying how excited they were about being pushed, that they felt like they weren't pushed last season, and they're excited to get back to that because look, I mean, and you played high school and some college football. Those guys, they want to be pushed. I mean, they know that if they're going to get where they want to get, they need to be pushed. They need to be held accountable. And from what it sounds like, these guys are enjoying that part of the process. I don't think the coaching staff is having to drag them, dragging and kicking to work hard. Now, there's always, a couple guys here or there that aren't with the program. But for the most part, it sounds like guys are really excited to work hard again.
I think that's 100% correct, Ira. You just nailed it. I think that, especially at a place like Florida State, where guys do have aspirations of playing in the pros, I knew I wasn't going to play in the pros, but where guys have aspirations to play in the pros and really think that they can, they know they have to test themselves against the best of the best, and they have to find out where they're at, and they've got to work and be pushed to the brink. And you got to be right up against it, right? And so it sounds like they are being pushed, and it sounds like guys are buying in, and it sounds like guys are really excited about the process. I said earlier, you can't swing and miss on something like this. People should want a new line, a new message, a new thing to believe in after they've had the kind of season that Florida State had last year. But to do that and deliver it right off the bat is encouraging for all involved. So I think the kids are included in that message. Fans are willing to buy in, but the players got to be first and foremost.
Well, and I think, look, it's human nature. You may want that, but if somebody's willing to let you just kind of slack off and take it easy, a lot of times you'll take advantage of that. You'll be like, okay, well, I'll work tomorrow. I'll work next month. And but when somebody's pushing you and holding you accountable and you respond to that, that's when really good things happen. The other thing that I've heard recently that I think is really positive is that, this coaching staff's not coming in. The one thing I've never liked about the Urban Meyers and Tom Herman and some of those guys who do the stuff where, we're going to kick you out of the locker room and we're not going to give you your helmet. You got to earn all this. To me, those kind of seem a little bit gimmicky. To me, if you're going to really sell a vision, sell the vision. Don't hold things over their head to these college kids that because you have all the power. Get them to buy in. Don't force them to follow you. Make them want to follow you. And I think that's the approach they're taking. I do think they're selling a vision, and the kids are buying into that vision as opposed to kind of being, having something held over their head. And so I think that's a real positive. If it works, I think that tends to last longer than those quick fixes at some other programs.
I think you're right. Let's hope it continues. I certainly have been a sucker for all of it. I'm going to warchant.com. I'm going all over, finding anything I can find and go, yes, new staff. I'm all in, buddy. I'll talk to you again soon, buddy.
All right, Jeff. See you, man.
All right, be well. Ira Schoffel, warchant.com. Yeah, I think again, it's you hear that message, and you would suspect that kids are going to be willing to hear something new and embrace it. But it's good to hear about the work, and it's good to hear that it is selling a vision that everybody's on board with, and that includes now players saying, "Hey, look, we weren't pushed." That's surprising to me. Clearly something was broken.
Yeah, but that's anytime somebody leaves or there's a firing, you're going to get these stories. Like, I don't look at it and say, "Oh, how horrible this thing happened."
No.
What do you expect?
It just means that the train was no longer chugging, and that there was clearly, some things that weren't going.
And I'll bet some of these players that say that were pushed. They just didn't like where the message was coming from or the way it was being delivered. So, then they shut it down.
Well, I think you're right about that because we have video evidence of that in that Showtime series in which Jimbo is admitting not being able to connect to players and what do they have to do differently. It wasn't that he wasn't, that he was desirous of not connecting. He wanted to. This wasn't happening for whatever reason.
To communicate with the players. Yeah, it sounds like they're hitting the right notes, though, right now. And, again, from a presentation standpoint, they certainly are. They certainly are hitting on all those right notes. But it's more important that they actually do, not what they present to the people, but that on the practice fields, when players walk off the practice fields, they actually feel better about the program. That will make the difference. Hard part is, spring will give you a little taste of it, but it'll give you what? 10% of the picture? 20?
Good to hear him talking about my man James Blackman. Meaning Coach Taggart.
Yeah.
I didn't tell him to say that. He just noted what a good leader.
Oh, I think that was, yeah. I think he meant to make sure that was noted in the quote.
Well, and you can already see, I mean, all coaches do this. He's going to press certain buttons. Now, you could look at that two ways. On the one hand, good for James Blackman, who had to endure an awful lot last year, well before any kid should have to. And, you know, he took a beating literally, and also I think mentally had to deal with an awful lot and had some hard times going through that transition. Came out the other side probably a better player without question. And so you want to build him up and you want to salute him and you want him to be engaged and focused and excited about what's new. But at the same time, you're sending a message to DeAndre Francois, who you also want to be part of this battle. You want to see him working hard to get back because competition makes everybody better.
It does, but there's one thing I will say about demeanor and personality, just by on-field personality. James Blackman matches the system better than DeAndre does, personality-wise. DeAndre's the more stoic type player, whereas James, right off the bat in his first game,
yeah, he gets pumped.
His emotions were all over the place.
Sometimes that's not so good as a quarterback.
I didn't like it the first game. We came back that Monday. I got criticized for that, but I was like, man, listen, you don't have to wear your heart in your sleeve in your first game. That tells me that you know you're having a hard time containing and staying down the middle.
Yeah, 18 years old, it's tough to do.
But of course it is, and hell, you know, it's not something I was ever put in the position to do.
You throw a touchdown pass and make a big play, you're going to be pretty pumped.
But he's pumped. He likes to score. You know what I mean? It's just when Willie talks about his offense, and he's talked on the record about, you know, the things that he's done at USF when he was making the change and at Oregon. Kids want to score points. That's like, it sounds so basic, but that's something that he believes in, and which is why he wants to score as many as possible. James Blackman seems to fit that type of mold of, once I get mine, I'm going to have some fun.
Well, Willie has talked before, when you go back and look at why he embraces what he's talking about now offensively, Gulf Coast offense, all that. It was born out of the frustration of running something different, which we know at USF he was. And then in the 2-minute offense, seeing a lot of success before the end of halves and games. And the way the kids lit up when they were able to move the football consistently and score points consistently there. And, you know, he thought, well, both from a personnel standpoint, but also in the way that it instills confidence and the way that the kids enthusiastically embrace what we're doing in those situations, playing with tempo, spreading people out, throwing the ball around at a necessity in the last 2 minutes, but also entertaining the idea of making that your offense, the core of what you do, and then adjusting elsewhere. You know, he said, yes, as a result, the kids' emotion elicited from those moments of success at the end of halves and in the 2-minute in general really got him thinking, by and large, that you could run that offense at all times. Also, it's been noted by him and others who run that system that anymore you're seeing this a lot in high school, that more and more high school teams run this. They don't run pro style, whereas that used to be the norm. It's much easier now to get kids to come in and quickly pick up a system that many of them ran in high school, as more and more of these schools run something akin to what we're about to run this year.
Well, with quarterbacks and Jimbo Fisher, we always talked about how do personalities mesh together. You know, and Ponder had a great relationship with Jimbo. EJ not so much. Jameis definitely did. But the thing that Ponder and Jameis had in common was that they could take the hard coaching and roll right off their back, because they were intense themselves and they knew that Jimbo was saying something beyond what they actually hear in their ears.
Yeah.
And there are times that there were quarterbacks, Everett Golson, EJ, you know, it didn't really work out quite that way. But if I'm just looking at the characteristics of Willie's offense and what he said about what he wants the team to be like, what the personality he wants, you know, if he's going to mold a team in his image, he wants the personality of having fun. It just seems to me that Blackman's personality matches that type of program and that type of offensive identity. If his game doesn't, which it doesn't compared to Francois, it's just I think his personality does kind of match to what we're trying to do here.
It'll be interesting to see how you also find ways to incorporate toughness while also embracing what you're talking about offensively and having fun and being a personality, if you will, like you're describing. Because those two aren't always synonymous. It doesn't mean you can't be, because there are plenty of tough teams. Auburn was tough. The team we played the national championship was tough.
Yeah.
So you can do it. But I do think it's a little different animal, you know, as opposed to 3 yards in a cloud of dust in yesteryear, where you could absolutely, by virtue of what you're running, instill your will and toughness.
Right. Maybe the light bulb clicks on for DeAndre as he gets healthy and he can put everything together. I mean, a new coach has a way, and a new staff and a new message has a way of, bringing kids to the surface you never knew could be impact players, and maybe others regress. I think that's only natural to happen. But I'm just saying, as we stand here in February, before DeAndre is fully healthy and able to compete in the fall, I don't think we're going to get resistance from James Blackman. I don't think you're going to see in a spring game a square peg, round hole type of phenomenon just because he can't run with the football as well as DeAndre.
Yeah, and he's not a statue. He can run. And, again, the other part of all this is that, as Jimbo used to say, and all coaches, I think offensive-minded coaches certainly are inclined to say this, but also because I do think they incorporate other elements, they'll say, I'm not pigeonholed by my quarterback's skill set. I mean, he doesn't have to be able to run for us to have success running this offense, and or I don't have to have a pocket passer in order to be able to run another kind of offense.
While it's true, I think it was very important he said that coming in the door.
Oh, I think
because
it was very
the dynamic
yeah,
ahead of him.
Absolutely. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Rough like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Smoother, bolder, sharper, comfier, smarter, fiercer, tougher, stronger, longer, greater, prouder. Gravely Zero-Turn Mowers.
24-month or 20,000-mile maintenance plan and our exclusive and the original lifetime warranty. So thank you for doing business with us. Kraft Nissan, great people, great product, great price, with the best car buying experience in town. Between Academy Sports and Costco.
If you have hard water, the Lime Scale not only leaves white spots, it clogs pipes and breaks down appliances, costing you hundreds of dollars in energy and wear. Eliminate Lime Scale and other water issues like brown staining, bad odors, and lead with HydroCare water products available from Wave Home Solutions. Wave's affordable systems don't use salts or chemicals. You'll love the way your water tastes, smells, and looks. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, go to goodclearwater.com. That's goodclearwater.com.
It's time for some straight talk. Excited about a bigger tax refund? Now you can make it go even further with more high-speed data than ever before. Straight Talk's Ultimate Unlimited plan is just $55 a month on America's best networks. Get up to $200 off a Samsung Galaxy S7 when you activate in store. Straight Talk Wireless, only at Walmart.
Video typically streams at DVD quality. Offer valid until 4/18/18. At 60 gigabytes, we may review accounts for violations of terms and conditions found at straighttalk.com.
Don't miss the Tallahassee Regional Boat Show at the North Florida Fairgrounds, March 2nd through March 4th.
The region's biggest dealers will display a huge selection of boats, all priced with huge discounts.
The Tallahassee Regional Boat Show at the North Florida Fairgrounds, free admission and parking.
March 2nd through 4th.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Combine talk.
Auden Tate show, right? That'll be the interesting one.
Well, yeah, because he's not going to run fast. But he's a guy that obviously knows and learned how over time to utilize his body. That's what a big receiver does. He's going to get his shot, and it won't be based on the 40.
But we know that Derwin's going to show out. That's why I say, like, Auden Tate is kind of the mystery.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Derwin, Derwin, I just heard interviewed last week, late in the week, and he was talking about the opportunity that sits before. I said last week, too, prior to hearing him talk, that I thought, obviously the measurables are in his favor. I mean, he's a guy that's going to test through the roof. But I thought he would interview really well, and he's even refined that process, clearly going the route that all kids do, getting ready to go to the combine, getting coached up a little bit. And he sounded very polished. Did a lengthy interview on the NFL Network, and he sounded great. He sounded like a kid who's going to say the right things in those meetings, and a guy that – one thing that comes across to me, and anymore I find this very important because the money's so great. You gotta show me, and I got to believe it. I got to believe it if I'm interviewing you that you love football. That when you get this money, it's not changing who you are. It's not changing the way you prepare. It's not changing the way you go about the process of getting yourself ready for what is a brutal season, obviously, at the highest level with 16 games and the caliber of athletes you face each week. You better love football in order to succeed at a high level and not just kind of take the money and go through the motions. And Derwin strikes me as a guy, every time he talks, every time you hear – he's not the only one, but just – focusing on him because he was here, obviously, and I've had a chance to talk with him, strikes me as a guy that just loves this game. It's refreshing, in fact.
If he's healthy, he'll be a 10-year pro. Yes?
Yeah.
Starter?
Without question.
Just don't know what position.
Yeah, well,
they'll find a way.
Yeah, because you can just utilize guys like him in so many facets of the game. And this has been – he's really the guy we've been gearing towards, at least in terms of being so versatile and being the hybrid that we continue to talk about as the game changes. Jalen Ramsey very much that way. And, listen, this is an interesting draft in that there are certain positions, and every draft has some of this, but really this year I think it's to the extremes where there's just a dearth of talent and then other areas where there is a glutton of talent. And I think, when you think about a Minkah Fitzpatrick and how good he is and what he brings to the table and where you would have him slotted as a Bucs fan, and a Derwin James, right at the top there with the safeties and the kinds of roles they can play.
Yeah.
Listen, I want offensive line. I want offensive line all day long. And if Chubb's not there to draft, and I'm even worried about Chubb at least in terms of explosiveness off the edge and dominating, getting to the pass. We need a pass rusher, not a guy who's a balanced defensive end who's great against the run and can occasionally get to the pass. I need an elite pass rusher, and I'm worried he's not that.
We've had Will Golston, and he's a great edge center.
Well, that's great. Set the edge all day.
Yep.
I need a guy to get your ass after the quarterback, and I don't know that Chubb is that necessarily, and that has me concerned. And then from there, it is quite a steep drop-off, and it's disconcerting. And so I don't know. I'm inclined to trade down. That's never popular. It's not something anybody wants to hear. You get excited when you have a top 10 pick. You want to make the most of it. I'm inclined to trade down because I don't like drafting a guard with the 7th pick.
Right.
So I think you can trade down and get an elite guard. There's a lot of them in this draft, or a tackle, and go from there. I don't want running back with the 7th pick. So, all the sexy stuff is off the table.
Yeah, for me, it's Minkah Fitzpatrick, a guard. The guard from Notre Dame, whatever that kid's name is. I just know he's good.
Yeah.
Or trade down because maybe there's a loony team out there that thinks Lamar Jackson's going off the table, next. Hey, well, come on now. There have been some crazy things.
Johnny Manziel got drafted.
Manziel got drafted. The Bears traded up for Mitch Trubisky. The Bucs traded up for Josh Freeman.
Oh, wait a minute. Now, yes, I would never have traded up for Mitch Trubisky because you didn't have to.
One spot.
You didn't need to do it.
There's been some wacky stuff that's happened.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm having a hard time with Baker Mayfield because it's not as easy anymore. I don't mean the Bucs, just in general. It's not as easy anymore to dismiss guys the way it once was, given that NFL teams are now incorporating tons of these same elements in college that he succeeded with. It is hard to dismiss, 6 feet or not, a guy that throws 40-something touchdowns and throws 5 interceptions and completes 60-something% of his passes. I get it. I know he's throwing to a lot of wide-open guys, but I also know that, we just watched the Philadelphia Eagles and the New England Patriots and several other teams run elements of what you see in that Oklahoma offense and so many others in college now. If that's becoming a thing and you can keep guys upright and he's back there just slinging it, well, he did that better than anybody we've seen in a long time.
Right. Yeah. It's the Russell Wilson comparison. And the question is, will he make more money because Russell Wilson succeeded in the NFL? Probably.
I think so. He does a lot of nice things outside the pocket. He is a good athlete. He's not a Russell Wilson athlete, but he's a good athlete.
No, he's fine. He's pocket mobile at the NFL level. That's all you need is just to be pocket mobile.
Yeah, he's pocket mobile, and he's got a good enough arm.
If you have the arm to go along with it. Again, that's why the Manziel thing.
It never made a lot of sense.
I texted you last week. I mean, all I'm doing is I'm consuming sports and just,
Well, when you're sick, that's all you can do. That and movies.
Good freaking Lord on the Le Batard show.
I didn't hear any of it. I don't know, but Mike Ryan seems to think that somehow
they were comparing Lamar Jackson to Johnny Manziel as athletes. Wow. I just the only thing he's got on him is height, is what he said. How about like 3/10 on the 40?
Well, no, and
but strength of arm.
Well, everything about him.
But knowledge of a pro style concept. He's got everything on him.
Yeah. Listen, Lamar was a freakish athlete.
He's running Petrino's system.
Well,
this is not.
But I'm saying this is
system.
nuts. Yeah, no.
What in the world?
I know. I didn't. Well, I don't like either.
But people think like Mike Ryan in front offices because you see stupid stuff all the damn time in the league.
Well, that shows you that, look, we get it wrong too, right? I poke fun of them because that's what they do year-round and are paid handsomely to do so, and they whiff and they swing and miss with really great leaps in logic all the time based on the percentages, based on precedent, based on certain body types and things we've seen come before. And that, how anybody took Johnny Manziel, again, I don't know. I'll sit here and say this, though. We really didn't think Dak Prescott could play. And here he is now showing that he can play. Now, he didn't have a great season this year, but we know he can play. All
that did was make me realize that Charlie Campbell's sources are good sources.
Really good, yeah.
You can have a scout for a source, but if he sucks, then,
It's gotten harder. It's gotten harder to definitively say about quarterbacks certain things we knew to be true. And I'm not talking about guys who really made a living in college off of running the football. Those guys, I can say definitively, you're not going to go very far in the NFL doing that. We know that. It gets beaten out of them. They get injured. See RG3. And RG3 had a cannon for an arm and made a lot of throws in college. And I thought, okay, that might work. It actually did work temporarily, but he ran too much, and he was beaten to a pulp and is out of the league.
No, listen, like you can argue and say, even though Lamar Jackson is the better athlete, I think that Johnny, he had better sense of what to do in the pocket when things broke down. So I think Lamar is going to be a mega bust, whereas Manziel was going to be an okay, below-average quarterback before life got in the way, off-the-field stuff got in the way. And that's like an argument that is at least based in logic and reason. But if you're going to say, before we start the argument, that Manziel and Lamar Jackson are the same athlete, well now we're not speaking in facts. And I can't go anywhere with this argument. That makes absolutely no sense at all.
I don't know why anybody would. I don't know anybody that watched the two that could come to that conclusion. That would have been an awkward conversation to have. If you were doing that, Tom, I want to go to commercial break because you're not making any sense.
Well, but the problem is that clearly on the other side of the glass, they're not watching the games, so they don't combat it. And they're like, holy smokes.
It's not a show that prides itself on watching the games.
No.
Jeff Cameron, Show 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Why does Mahindra have not?
I decided on Mahindra just because of the sheer strength, the size, the ease of the workability, and it was more of a comfortable machine than the others.
You could lift just about anything with that thing. It has never let me down.
And now get the industry's best 7-year limited powertrain warranty on select models.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
A lifetime. Go to spotSkinCancer.org to find out how. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Attention all business owners now listening. I'm Alan Willis, the General Manager of WTSM 97.9 ESPN Radio. ESPN is the best known sports brand in the world, and your business in the Tallahassee area can be associated with it, whether it be on nationally produced shows like Golic and Wingo, Dan Le Batard, Stephen A. Smith, or locally produced favorites like The Jeff Cameron Show or Wake Up War Chant. We have it all. Oh, and did I mention that it's all very affordable? We have helped many businesses in all categories solve their marketing problems, and we would love to help your business next. It's easy. Just pick up the phone and call me at 561-8400 during normal business hours, or go to espntallahassee.com anytime and shoot me an email. No matter your advertising budget, we can help you solve your marketing problems and have fun doing it. Let my team of professionals go to bat for your business. Call me today, Alan Willis, at 561-8400, and get your business off the bench and into the game today with WTSM 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Parker Brothers Roofing says don't play games with your roof. Protect your home and your family. The Parker Brothers tell you the truth. We'll fix your roof, 'cause it's what we do. With quality, integrity, and pride. Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
Hey, this is Travis with Parker Brothers Roofing. No one besides us wants to hear that you need a new roof. It's one of the biggest home improvements you have to make, and Parker Brothers Roofing understands. We now offer financing for 0% over 60 months. Yes, that's 5 years. Call us today for 5 years interest-free financing on that new roof. 656-8112. That's 656-8112, or go to parkerbrothersroofing.net.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
License number CCC 049350.
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
The time is now for a new boat.
March 2nd through 4th, this area's largest boat dealers will display a huge selection at the North Florida Fairgrounds for the Tallahassee Regional Boat Show.
Shop, compare, and make your best deal on the greatest boats and motors.
Key West, Sundance,
Hurricane Deck Boats,
G3, Skeeter, Parker, Sea Hunt,
Carolina Skiff, and Seabourn.
Participating dealers include Big Bend Marine, Cruise Marine, Jack's Boats and Trailers, Mike's Marine, Shields Marina, and Stowaway Marine.
Plus, find easy on-site financing opportunities, too. The Tallahassee Regional Boat Show, March 2nd through 4th at the North Florida Fairgrounds.
And the admission and parking is free.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Free agent outfielder J.D. Martinez officially signs his 5-year, $122 million deal with the Red Sox today. The two sides agreed a week ago, but team officials wanted to review medical information on Martinez's injured right foot. The Chiefs will get a 4th-round pick this year and a 2nd-round pick next year when they trade corner Marcus Peters to the Rams. The Rams also get a 6th-round pick this year in that deal, which can't become official until March 14th. Over the weekend, Tiger Woods finished 12th at the Honda Classic, his 3rd tournament of the year. Golf Channel's Brandel Chambly believes Woods will be holding trophies sometime this year.
Hell yeah, he's going to win more golf tournaments, no question about it. And I never thought I'd say that again. The fact that he's hitting it so far, he's got the speed back, the chipping's back. Yes, of course, he's going to win. There's just no doubt in my mind that he'll win at some time this year.
Brandel Chambly on Golic and Wingo. A college basketball doubleheader tonight on ESPN starting at 7 Eastern. Duke at Virginia Tech, followed by Texas at Kansas.
The FBI probe into the NCAA took years, so how did schools clear players to be back on the court in a matter of days? More on the NCAA investigation. Plus, U.S. curling skip John Schuster joins Tuesday on Golic and Wingo, 6 Eastern, ESPN Radio, ESPN2.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Happened while we were away. This was an easy one to predict, and if you listen to the show, you know I did. And that is, we didn't talk about it because it happened late last week, but Andrew Baselli has left the program. Yeah, that was never going to work out, man. It's so rare that I have laid eyes on a guy, right? And then come back to you or anybody else that, you know, works within the show or with me and covering the team and gone, that dude has no chance. And I wasn't trying to be degrading or anything else. I mean, obviously he's the son of a Hall of Famer. You'd like to think, well, whatever's missing right now will develop it. But his body type, and I'm, again, being careful here because I'm sure he's a good kid. I don't want to – he's a college kid, so I got to be careful. But he didn't look like he could play even a little bit. I mean, even a little bit.
At this level?
I mean, anywhere.
Really. Oh, okay.
No, listen, he didn't. I'm not kidding you, man. I looked at him and I went, come on now. That dude is not doing nothing. Okay, obviously he could play at some level, and that's great. I just don't know why he was here, because he didn't fit the part in any way, shape, or form. And he looked frumpy and soft and sorry. There was just no way you could see him ever playing, ever. But again, I thought, well, he'll have to work that body into shape and get himself to where he could take advantage of those genes. And maybe by the time he's a junior, he will have transformed himself, right? But it didn't happen. And so the redshirt sophomore, it's hard to believe he was a redshirt sophomore, that he's been here that long.
Yeah.
And I really saw no significant change.
Well, the one thing I will really agree with you on is, why was he made available for Media Day?
Why was he made available for Media Day?
Yes. Remember back in the fall, he was available for comments?
Yeah, he was there. He was just talking away and having a good old time. I don't know. My guess is that he's an affable, fun, engaging young man that would represent the program the right way, got that last name. And I really – listen, favors are done. These is the kind of thing that does happen, where if you've got a Hall of Famer and you've got a guy that is as well thought of in the game as his father is, and he makes a call to Jimbo Fisher, and I'm not saying that's what happened, but I know in the past these things do happen. They happen at other universities. It's common courtesy, if a kid can play a little bit, you find a spot for him maybe. And you hope to develop them, and you hope maybe they're late bloomers because their fathers are who they are. You don't want to give up hope that they can't turn into that kind of player. So I don't know. Maybe it was a mix and match. Like, he had some ability that I'm not giving him credit for, clearly. And I haven't watched his film, so maybe he was dominant in high school. I assume he could play a little. But when you look at him, man, all jokes aside, I thought, man, he just doesn't look like the caliber of player, not in height and size, wingspan, weight, strength, you name it. There was nothing that said that guy should see the field for us. Whether he would or not, I thought that's a bad sign. If that guy's playing for you, that's a bad sign.
Fair enough. Well, now he's not, so it's not a bad sign.
No, he's not. And he's decided to leave the program. And if you couple that with the fact that you have a player that was medically disqualified and you have another player leave, so you are in a situation now where you're looking at Alec Eberle at 52 years of age coming back. You do have Corey Martinez, also in his early 40s, and Bavion Johnson.
There it is.
Yeah. We've been waiting on that.
Bavion.
Right? Yeah. So we did sign 4 linemen in this last class. So we'll see. We're in the transformation process.
A lot of sifting to do. A lot of sifting for Greg Frye.
It is an area of concern. As we have all these high hopes and things about what this offense can look like and how it's going to play out, and I'm in agreement there, and I do think they're going to light up the world and all that good stuff, but I'm not in love with our offensive line, and I'm certainly hoping Greg Frye can help turn that around, and bodies in general seems to be a problem.
Yeah.
Just enough bodies.
Well, with this offense, right? Stop the dive. Don't let them stop the dive.
No.
Don't let them stop the dive.
I got asked a question on Seminole Headlines last week, Tom, while you were out, that said, and I think it's right next to you, but I don't want you to have to weed through all of that. The question was, in essence, hey, look, you've clowned these kinds of offenses in the past, Jeff. And he even says, I'm paraphrasing you here. And he goes, You find it?
Yeah.
Okay, go read that again.
From Chris, he says, Jeff, in all caps.
Yeah, he wanted my attention.
I have heard you decry the offenses of TCU Baylor as Mickey Mouse, ass clown, YMCA unwatchable football, paraphrasing you, of course. Is this the type of offense FSU fans are about to see? Are we about to have some 60-50 games?
And I answered that question by saying, Chris, it was Chris, right?
That's right, Chris.
I said, Chris, yes, I'm afraid so. I do think that there are going to be some games like that. The key will be the defense, obviously. And the other thing about it is, do you mix and match? Remember, Harbaugh's at his roots. The grind it out, bludgeon you is at his roots. And he once ran that offense. So that's in him too. So what I'm curious about is whether or not he incorporates other elements of it, especially if we get up big, especially if you kind of start that game, Tom, with your athletes. You get up 27-0, 34-0, something like that.
Well,
31.
you know, do what you want at that point.
At that point, no need to be out here for 6 hours. I don't need
That's the thing.
52-31.
Raise my hand. I'm saying, well, all right. Listen, even with Jimbo, college football took about 3.5, 4 hours. We're playing this thing? Really?
Well, by the way, that is also a topic that has been brought up time and again. I brought up last week that fewer people went to college football games this past year at a rate that was pretty alarming for colleges around the country. It was the lowest rate, I think, since 97. Fewest amount of people, I think, since 83. It was crazy. So the percentage dropped, and it was people were searching around every turn as to why, but we know why. We know that the in-home viewing experience is so much greater, and that in reality, these universities are efforting, I think, to make the going to the game experience a lot like the in-home experience, where they're trying to upgrade all the amenities, and they try to make the Wi-Fi great so you check your fantasy teams and everything else, and the other scores of other games, and they want you to have access to 150 televisions. That's why you have a Champions Club. They try to take your living room into the stadium, where you can also get a little bit of that in-person atmosphere that comes from being with like-minded folks cheering loudly. I got you.
IMG Marketing called it Doak HD.
Yes.
That's the signal they know where they're getting their butt whipped by.
That's exactly right. But the other problem is that these games are really long. I mean, and I'm not the guy that's always pounding the fist about the length of games. That's not me.
I can be at times, but yeah.
You can be, and the generation that came after you sure as hell cares very deeply about not paying attention to stuff.
We
for
all
very
know
long.
why, because we're replaying a spot, and then we got to go to a full TV timeout, which takes 3 minutes. Quarter breaks take forever. I mean, it's
that's
just
annoying.
Yeah.
And now if you run a certain kind of offense that prolongs games, it can be an all-day thing.
Maybe when you get older and you have more perspective. Your dad could probably speak to this because he's been to games since when? The 80s?
Or late 70s.
Late 70s.
Yeah.
Okay. As you get older, you realize that you're standing around and talking to each other during a commercial break an awful lot more. You know what I mean? Like, there's just a whole lot of standing around in Doak. You know, you don't want to sit in the bleachers because the guy is bleeding over into your seat because he's too big. And you're just thinking to yourself, man, I'm just waiting around. They're just playing some music here
and
I
it's
don't
hot.
even really like. It's hot as hell.
Yeah.
These guys around me are wasted. I'm wondering if this guy's going to puke or this guy's going to start a fight. And I'm waiting to see that red referee walk off the field so that we can start a game because right now the 11 are lined up across from the 11.
Ready to play. We could have been doing that.
We could have been doing this.
No, they're working on it. They're not going to be able to fix it. You're not going to be able to outdo consistently the in-home experience on a weekend where there are a ton of good games and your buddies come over to watch your 75-inch television in the privacy of your own home where you've got the goodies to eat, the beer to drink, and no other fools to deal with.
Throw in the 2 to 6 hour round trip time, that you have for most people, and then for others it could be a longer round trip.
Now, again, nothing
2-night
can really,
minimum in the hotels where they gouge you.
All the money, yeah. We were talking about it. People wrote in last week when I brought this up. I mean, it's a frustrating thing. The problem is, though, I mean, again, I say that, but admittedly, there's nothing like a beautiful fall day, being with your friends and family, fellow Knowles, tailgating for hours on end, eating good food, trading stories, catching up on what all everybody's doing in their life and the other kids are doing and all that, having a cold one with a buddy and walking into that stadium. Admittedly, for big games, that is as good experience as you can have.
Got to stagger those home games for after the middle of October.
You do.
Just save them all up.
You do. Final hour, forthcoming. Stay with Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
TNT Supercenter is your one-stop shop for the largest inventory of golf carts and accessories, stocking over 150 new and pre-owned carts with prices starting under $2,000. Whether you're looking for a standard or custom golf cart, TNT has the perfect cart for you. TNT carries and services leading brands and a full line of premium Mad Jacks accessories. Stop by or call to find out about our zero-down, low-interest rate financing, free delivery, and rental programs. Visit TNTSupercenter.com.
TNT. I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Precious little time to kick back and take a load off. About the last thing you want to do is hours of laundry, but there it sits, staring at you, taunting. No more. That's right. More watching, less washing. Save hours of valuable time when you sign up not doing laundry with Easy Laundry Service from Wash Around the Clock. Whether it's dry cleaning or just plain laundry, Wash Around the Clock's Easy Laundry Service will pick up and deliver at your home or office. So sign up for free today at easylaundry.net, or you can give them a call, 850-597-9007. Again, sign up today at easylaundry.net. Oh, and by the way, I got you. Use promo code JCS20 and save 20%. That's promo code JCS20. You're saving 20% on your first order. That's easylaundry.net from Wash Around the Clock.
Did you know that propane-powered clothes dryers outperform electric models in energy efficiency, drying time, and garment protection? So dry your clothes more efficiently with propane. Propane water heaters give you more hot water at a more affordable price. Compared to electric, energy-efficient propane water heaters can reduce your energy costs significantly. For more information, call AmeriGas Propane here in Tallahassee at 877-1122.
Is all your insurance protection under one roof? Make the right choice. Williams Insurance Agency is locally owned and operated, serving Tallahassee and surrounding communities for over 34 years. With access to more than 28 national and Florida-based insurance carriers, they have an independent advantage. Multiple lines of personal, commercial, and life insurance all under one roof. If you don't know insurance, know your agent. Williams Insurance Agency, 2901 East Park Avenue, Suite 2200. Call them today at 877-8555. Or visit online at williamsinsuranceinc.com.
This Day in Sports, brought to you by Superlube, 19 Tallahassee area locations. Quick, convenient, no appointment necessary. Get your history lesson weekdays at 5:30 during the Jeff Cameron Show, right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Nobody knows your car the way you do. The way it handles and tracks with mutters, not all terrains. How it only sounds right with a custom exhaust, and wouldn't ride the same without air suspension. Or how you had it painted pearl candy red, not just red. Because yeah, there's a difference. We know your car isn't just a car, it's a 3,000-pound extension of you. When your passion meets our inventory, you can do anything. Thousands of parts make your car, and they're all right here at eBay Motors.
Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Free agent outfielder J.D. Martinez officially signs his 5-year, $122 million deal with the Red Sox today. The two sides agreed a week ago, but team officials wanted to review medical information on Martinez's injured right foot. The Chiefs will get a 4th-round pick this year and a 2nd-round pick next year when they trade corner Marcus Peters to the Rams. The Rams also get a 6th-round pick this year in that deal, which can't become official until March 14th. Over the weekend, Tiger Woods finished 12th at the Honda Classic, his third tournament of the year. Golf Channel's Brandel Chambly believes Woods will be holding trophies sometime this year.
Hell yeah, he's going to win more golf tournaments, no question about it. And I never thought I'd say that again. The fact that he's hitting it so far, he's got the speed back, the chipping's back. Yes, of course, he's going to win. There's just no doubt in my mind that he'll win at some time this year.
Brandel Chambly on Golic and Wingo. A college basketball doubleheader tonight on ESPN starting at 7 Eastern. Duke at Virginia Tech, followed by Texas at Kansas.
The FBI probe into the NCAA took years, so how did schools clear players to be back on the court in a matter of days? More on the NCAA investigation. Plus, U.S. curling skip John Schuster joins Tuesday on Golic and Wingo, 6 Eastern, ESPN Radio, ESPN2.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least for today. Thanks for tuning to it. Great Monday, everybody. Hope you had a good old weekend. I saw a few of you over at the ballpark. Raindrops yesterday, right? We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free. Always don't miss anything. If you do miss something, go back, get caught up at your leisure, as we'll post all 3 hours, both on iTunes and in our own audio vault. We do that every show, so just hang in there and you can go back and get caught up. The WTSM app works real well for your mobile devices, of course, and you can, whether it's Android or iPhone, doesn't really matter. Go ahead and do it. You know what was cool yesterday, Tom? You remember when we had Mike Martin Jr. on the show and he talked about Austin Pollock and said, we got some kids we really like, some young kids that you guys don't know a lot about, that that you feel good about, and it's going to be interesting to watch them pitch. Well, he looked good, man. 1 earned run in 6 innings will work from him, and he was one of. I think we had what did we have. We had Austin. We had the Tyler Ahern kid. We had a bunch of kids that Meat mentioned before the season began. Mm-hmm. And your hope and your fear, your hope is that they develop to be everything that they're described as, and your fear is you will never see them.
Right.
Because we don't pitch them. But now with the injury, you're going to have more guys pitch.
Well, and your fear is that you expose them to too much too soon, and that might set back their development process, too. There's always a fine balancing act. I know that we've always been on one side of the spectrum. You know, typically there's a gripe somewhere around week 2 or week 3 where you say, Tuesday games are meaningless. Can we see some of the young kids? But, yeah, you're forced, especially with Carp pitching in midweek last week, you're forced to use some of these younger kids in starting situations, long relief situations. To me, the most important development, though, on the weekend, and the youth will come along, but the opponents are, they're not up to snuff right now. It's that Sands is hitting 94 to 96 miles an hour.
Huge.
That's what's huge to me. Like, I don't even care about the results. I need to know that he has swing and miss fastball stuff because you've lost your ace. So once I saw that, admittedly, my attention turned to the Honda, and I thought, all right, I'll check the box scores from here on out. Once we get into ACC play, we're going to find out what our pitching staff is made of behind the ace. But I need to know that we have an ace, and we at least have somebody who has velocity like an ace in Sands.
Yeah, and by the way, for Florida State, you're right. The record will take care of itself early in the season against outmanned opponents. Florida State is 7-0. That's not shocking whatsoever. The weekend series saw the rotation look really good. They allowed 2 earned runs in what was it, 17 1/3 innings pitched for the starters, so they looked really good. And I think that's to be expected early on. But you do like to watch this. Florida State plays again against Jacksonville tomorrow. That is a game in which Andrew Karp will get to start. And obviously he's already thrown this year and looked real good. He's 1-0 on the year. Hasn't given up a run. So early on, the results are what you expect them to be, but it's fun to get to know these guys as the wins mount, hopefully, and they are. And you learn a little bit about what's possible. I did say after Holton went down that while I felt terrible for that young man, and I still do, and by the way, his dad touched base with us on Friday saying he appreciated the kind words that we threw out there talking about his son, and Our pleasure. By all accounts, again, good kid, hardworking kid, great team. I hate to see that happen to him. He'll come back strong, and he'll have a career for himself, and we wish him the best of luck. But as for the guys that are going to be out there this year, that's what you do. You turn your attention to that. You want to find out what you got. And it was great this year to know that you had a number of arms that they were very excited about, above and beyond what you already knew. And now getting a look at some of these guys like you did yesterday, that's exciting. I think it is for all of us, especially big kids like this.
Well, in a weird way, too. Of course, you don't want anything to happen to Holton, but the sooner you can go through the process of finding what you're going to look like as a staff, the better. Again, I know it sounds like a warped way of looking at it, but if you're going to have to go through this, you might as well have it start in February so you know what you got by the time you get into the back half of conference season, before you get to the conference tournament and regional play. This is what the first 3-4 weeks of the season is all about. Is this guy developed? Is that guy developed? Who are these new
What's
kids?
he bringing out of the pen?
You're just defining roles for kids, and you had a major shakeup in the pitching staff.
For Florida State, it was not such a favorable result last night. We talked about it the first 2 hours. I was very disappointed with the effort I saw last night early on the defensive end, which leads to NC State coming out and really getting good looks and knocking down shots and getting on a roll. And listen, at some point, it's one thing to credit your opponent, and I think you should. They dominated Florida State and had 19. They led by 19 points at halftime. They had 13 shots from beyond the arc. That's a remarkable run that they had, but they're getting good looks. The defensive intensity is lacking for Florida State, and it's been a problem all season long. They don't guard anybody, and it's why I think the long-term future for this season is really not something that I latch onto and feel real good about. I think they're going to get to the tournament. Obviously, they got to win one of these remaining 2 games against Clemson on the road and or BC in the final home game of the year. It's more likely to be Boston College here, given the way we play on the road or don't play on the road. But either one would do. Obviously, it'd be more impressive, actually, to go get a road win against Clemson. But the point is, they're gonna reach the stated goal. They're gonna reach the stated goal, which is to make it to the NCAA tournament with all that they lost. And for that, again, I'll stand up and I'll applaud. But on the other hand, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I wasn't seriously disappointed with the effort yesterday, last night, defensively in particular. I know we didn't hit shots from beyond the arc. I understand it was a brick show, especially in that first half. I'm less concerned about that. I think these offensive doldrums and woes that the team goes through, especially when guys that were carrying you earlier in the year from distance are not hitting shots, are going to happen. I mean, we don't have a go-to guy that creates off the bounce and scores at will when you got to have a basket. And so if you're not, and you don't have an inside presence that you can throw the ball down into and work from there. So in truth, or at least not a strong guy. I mean, you got height, but you don't have the strength yet or the development of skill in the post yet. It's coming. He'll be the guy. Yes. He'll be the guy, right? I got you. But by and large, you got to hit a bunch of shots. You got to be a jump shooting team. You got to knock those shots down. We're going to play with tempo. We're going to get out and run, and we can finish around the rim, and that's great. But you got to get stops in order to do that and score in transition. And if you're not getting stops, then you're going to have to hit shots in the half court. And they're not hitting shots in the half court unless they're taking it to the paint. And so for Florida State, the recipe's pretty simple, but I also think it's one that's difficult to execute in the postseason when baskets get harder to come by, and I do believe it's going to be a short postseason. That said, make the tournament, guys. Get that 20th win. Finish 500 in the ACC. Bravo. But my expectations are seriously limited as to what happens after that.
It's a flawed team, but it's a team that, again, for the highs and the lows, before every game I say, well, look at the record and look at the wins and the losses, who they've come to and how they've happened. It's a team that's capable of playing with the best in the country and beating some of the best in the country. It's a team that's capable of losing a game inexplicably. I mean, and we've changed that part of the equation. It used to be they're going to be in games, but they might take an opponent a little bit lightly. Now, Notre Dame on the road, NC State on the road. You've had 2 examples where you go, oh, they can get blown out.
Well,
this can't happen.
They can get blown out.
It is in them.
Well, and if Angola is going to go one of his last 20 from beyond the arc and not be able to shoot, you
might expect that to happen. If your opponent hits 13 threes and you hit 0, you might expect to get blown out in a game. I agree with you. Defensive intensity sets the stage for all those numbers to happen. It does.
At halftime, you're the other guy you've been depending on, Terrence Mann, has no points.
Right.
I mean, this is
right. If your best players and you don't have frontline NBA lottery best players this year
yeah, no.
aren't your best players, well, this is going to happen. But to me, it doesn't change the fact that this team is capable of making it to the second weekend of the NCAA tournament just as easily as they could be dismissed in game 1 of the NCAA tournament by 15 to 20 points. Anything is possible with this group.
Give NC State credit. They shot at least 50% from the field. That is for the 5th straight game that they've done that. They've won 4 consecutive ACC games for the first time since 2006. They're playing really well.
Yeah.
I actually didn't expect us to win the game. I would have liked to have seen a better effort on defense. That's all I'm saying. You had a week off. I'll get into it more. It's frustrating.
The tempo should have been to our liking, too, where, you might see some baskets in transition, especially open jump shots. But, I mean, good Lord. Got run out of the gym in the first half, and that was it.
Yeah. I'm looking back on it. It's hard to imagine that you could not hit a single shot from outside the arc.
Outside the paint? I mean, that's what they were outside the paint.
It's a tough way. No way to win a basketball game, Tom. That's just a pretty simple diagnosis right there. Don't have to break it down too much. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Best truck warranty, 5 years or 100,000 miles, bumper to bumper. We're making deals on 2018s and we're blowing out remaining 2017 models. I'm telling you, Kraft Nissan will seriously entertain all offers and you will save an additional $2,000, $3,000, even $5,000 on remaining 2017s during the final days of Kraft Nissan's February Super Sale. Plus, these offers come with Kraft Nissan's complimentary 24-month or 20,000-mile maintenance plan and are exclusive and the original lifetime warranty. So thank you for doing business with us. Kraft Nissan, great people, great product, great price, with the best car buying experience in town. Twin Academy Sports and Costco.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac is back at it, supporting the High School Scholar Athlete of the Month on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Listen every Wednesday to hear our monthly winners. Check them out at Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMCCadillac.com.
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
Are you ready to experience an awesome fishing expedition? Sea Quarters Marina is home to several great charter services. All charters are customized based upon the types of fishing opportunities available and the type of fishing the customer requests. The Northwest Gulf Coast offers a variety of different angling adventures thanks to unspoiled back county islands and crystal clear flats. For more information regarding charters, call Sea Quarters Marina at 697-8400 or online at seaquartersmarina.com.
Tallahassee loves the corner pocket as much as a crystal ball winning catch.
He's looking, he wants it to the end zone. It's Benjamin! Touchdown! With 13 seconds left.
The 97.9 ESPN radio special is a must-have every Monday and Wednesday at the corner pocket. 10 mouth-watering wings, a fresh side of fries, and a chilled domestic pint of beer are just $9.79 all day long. Be sure and try the fish blend of sauces, a true wing eater's favorite. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
He's gone!
Home of Trivia Tuesday, Beer Bingo Thursday, and the daily $7.99 lunch special.
Nobody knows your car the way you do. The way it handles and tracks with mutters, not all terrains. How it only sounds right with a custom exhaust, and wouldn't ride the same without air suspension. Or how you had it painted pearl candy red, not just red. Because yeah, there's a difference. We know your car isn't just a car. It's a 3,000-pound extension of you. When your passion meets our inventory, you can do anything. Thousands of parts make your car, and they're all right here at eBay Motors.
You're listening to The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
I know how much you love this topic, so I'll just broach it for the moment. Read it this morning. Matt Baker posted something in the Tampa Bay Times, and
was it about Jameis?
Was not about Jameis. ACC resource issues.
Taking a break?
Question mark. A reason why Jimbo Fisher left FSU. While the ACC is undoubtedly concerned about last week's developments in the college basketball scandal, the league should also be worried about a story from Dennis Dodd of CBS Sports about why Jimbo Fisher left Florida State for Texas A&M. And there was a quote from the Texas A&M athletic director, Scott Woodward. Quote, "I'm not going to put words in Jimbo's mouth, but there are resource issues in the ACC versus the SEC. Those resource issues are not in dispute. They're one reason why A&M was able to give Fisher a 10-year, $75 million contract. According to its 2015 tax returns, the ACC brought in, we got actual numbers today, Tom, $373 million in revenue. The league gave member schools between $22 and $28 million apiece, with the exception of partial member Notre Dame. Florida State's cut of that, by the way, was $24.8 million. Good number. The same fiscal year, the SEC brought in $639 million in revenue. According to its tax returns, it gave member schools between $39 million and $42 million. So 39, A&M's cut, let's use them, $40.7 million over FSU's $24.8. Somewhat of a striking difference, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Now, it should be noted that Texas A&M was cited as having the richest athletic department in the country in a study done earlier this year. It was an article written in the USA Today. A&M has long now been the richest athletic department in the country. They haven't won anything since 1939. It's not solely, as it should be noted, about what you bring in each year above and beyond what other schools can do. Because it hasn't won them anything, because you still have to recruit to Texas A&M. You still got to find a way to do better than 7-5 and win the West and go on to win the conference and get into the playoff. Now, the discrepancy, it is noted, might not matter too much on a practical level. You can only build so nice a weight room before it's just whatever. It's a weight room, you know, so you can throw extra $1 million into your weight room. My weight room's pretty good too, and I got better players, so good luck with that. But the curiosity will be whether the ACC's planned TV network, which is coming in 2019.
Oh, yeah.
Well, now we're close.
Right around the corner. Oh,
well,
yeah.
But it was always going to be 2019, by the way, once they announced it. And here's what's interesting. We're in 2018. So it was a joke 2 years ago when we were talking about it. You're like, oh, good Lord, it's never going to be here. Well, now it's upon us. It's moving ever closer, right?
Yeah, I'm sure they'll have a launch date in July, right?
So that could trim the deficit some. The gap will still exist. It'll be interesting to see what the ACC's future is. I have a feeling, just based on what I'm seeing around here right about now, that Florida State's future is in a bright place, regardless of 24, 28, 29 million compared to 39 million.
Oh, yeah, there might be a resource issue in the ACC, and I 100% agree with that. There is a resource issue in the ACC, but there is a success issue in College Station.
Yeah, I was going to say
there's a victories issue. There's a deficit there.
Yeah.
That they're trying to overcome.
Consistent, too, by the way.
Oh,
consistent
yeah.
as
Consistency.
It is.
Well, hey, you know.
Yep, consistent. At least they are that. In their efforts to win 6-7 games every year, they are rock solid.
Set a watch by them.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
TNT. Why does Mahindra have 97% satisfaction? Ask our owners.
This gives me the ability to do what I want to do when I want to do it.
I decided on Mahindra just because of the sheer strength, the size, the ease of the workability, and it was more of a comfortable machine than the others.
You could lift just about anything with that thing. It has never let me down.
And now get the industry's best 7-year limited powertrain warranty on select models.
TNT.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
The way it handles and tracks with mutters, not all terrains. How it only sounds right with a custom exhaust, and wouldn't ride the same without air suspension. Or how you had it painted pearl candy red, not just red. Because yeah, there's a difference. We know your car isn't just a car, it's a 3,000-pound extension of you. When your passion meets our inventory, you can do anything. Thousands of parts make your car, and they're all right here at eBay Motors.
This Day in Sports brought to you by Superlube. Superlube, 19 Tallahassee area locations. Quick, convenient, no appointment necessary.
This day in sports history. February 26th, 1935. As his ability and talent dwindled, Babe Ruth was interested in managing the Yankees, but the owner had no intention of firing Joe McCarthy. Ruth was then sold by the Yankees to the Boston Braves. In addition to playing for the Braves, Ruth would also be the assistant manager, as well as the team's vice president.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Free agent outfielder J.D. Martinez officially signs his 5-year, $122 million deal with the Red Sox today. The two sides agreed a week ago, but team officials wanted to review medical information on Martinez's injured right foot. The Chiefs will get a 4th-round pick this year and a 2nd-round pick next year when they trade corner Marcus Peters to the Rams. The Rams also get a 6th-round pick this year in that deal, which can't become official until March 14th. Over the weekend, Tiger Woods finished 12th at the Honda Classic, his 3rd tournament of the year. Golf Channel's Brandel Chambly believes Woods will be holding trophies sometime this year.
Hell yeah, he's going to win more golf tournaments, no question about it. And I never thought I'd say that again. The fact that he's hitting it so far, he's got the speed back, the chipping's back. Yes, of course, he's going to win. There's just no doubt in my mind that he'll win at some time this year.
Brandel Chambly on Golic and Wingo. A college basketball doubleheader tonight on ESPN starting at 7 Eastern. Duke at Virginia Tech, followed by Texas at Kansas.
The FBI probe into the NCAA took years, so how did schools clear players to be back on the court in a matter of days? More on the NCAA investigation. Plus, U.S. curling skip John Schuster joins Tuesday on Golic and Wingo, 6 Eastern, ESPN Radio, ESPN2.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
I wanted to look it up to see what I could find. This is not the subject of the segment, but it is something that I think. Tom, I know you were probably thinking about doing it, so just so you know, it's plus 30,000 if you do want to go with Marco Mira for the Masters coming up. So
that's it? Oh, man. I thought we could have gotten a Larry Mize plus 45 or something.
You can get 100,000 for Sandy Lyle.
Oh, maybe it was Sandy Lyle. That's who it usually is.
100,000 for Larry Mize, too.
Yeah.
Oh,
it
also,
is? Oh.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
That's as far as they're going there. Wouldn't that be something? Larry Mize in the lead as we enter a Sunday.
Oh, my God. My $2 bet is awesome.
Yeah, Ian Woosman's going to play. All right, plus 100,000 for him. What has happened to you, Mike Weir? Plus 50,000 for Mike Weir.
Oh, my gosh.
Dude won the tournament. I mean, he's 50. I mean, good Lord. He was the pride of Canada for a while.
No, he now owns a couple of Burger Kings.
Does he?
Or not?
That
sounds right, doesn't it?
It does sound right. I thought that's why
he's giving up the game. He plays once a year at Augusta.
I literally thought that's what you were referencing.
Just takes his kid for the par 3, plays 2 rounds, and goes home on a Friday
night. I thought it was a distinct possibility. It's why I did not dismiss it in the slightest. I just, kind of blown away. Well, I do know this. The PGA was celebrating this weekend, and if you make money in that field, whether you're an announcer or a clothing or club company or whatever it might be, you're celebrating the fact that not just the world yearning for it to be the case because things are more interesting when he's involved, but because you legitimately can say it, at least based on what you just saw, that Tiger Woods is a contender in tournaments again. And he just was in a very difficult track. And he's, third by a tenth of a point or whatever it was in distance off the tee this week, in driving distance. Proximity to the hole was exceptional. Again, top 3. Just so many things that you see that are signs of a guy playing really good golf. If he makes a mid-range putt or two, if he could tell the bear trap to go to hell, he's going to win that tournament, man. It's crazy.
It is crazy to watch. A couple weeks ago,
he looked lost off the tee.
Well, yeah, at the Genesis, yes, but a couple of weeks ago, yeah, even when he did look lost, I thought, well, here's an average tour pro, and that's amazing. He's back to being an average tour pro
already.
Well, even if that was the ceiling, that's like, wow, what an incredible thing for him after how many surgeries and how many years away from playing real competitive golf on a week-to-week basis.
Mark stuff, right? You say, all right, can you make a cut? Can you make a cut on the PGA Tour again, Tiger? Oh, you made a cut. All right, that's good. Now he's made several. All right, good. Now you're making cuts again. That's okay. You'll be around on the weekend. And when we watch golf over the weekend, whether you're watching, I don't know, Jimmy Walker or Noren or Henley or Haas, these are just guys you're used to seeing on the weekend. And now add Tiger Woods into that mix.
Right. And his game as currently constructed, is ready for Augusta.
Well,
because he has his left to right shots down. Well, and that's all that matters there.
He's also hitting stingers, man.
Correct.
And he's decided, because he has no choice, you and I were talking about this earlier today, because he doesn't have the same angles, because he can't do some of the things, as he's noted, that he used to be able to do, he's forced to remove his ego and hit the shots he can hit, which were shots we were begging for him to hit for years, even when he could do all those other things. Just hit the damn stinger, man. You're throwing it out there 300 yards. You keep it in play over and over again. You're going to win the tournament. This is the stuff that, whether it's the Big Miss, the book, or anything else that you've heard people who were close around him, they found maddening about him, is that, yeah, Tiger, you've got every shot in the bag. I got you, man. You're more talented than almost anybody that's ever played the game, if not more than anybody that's ever played the game. You don't always have to show everybody that you have that. Just take the 5 things here you do really well and go win tournaments.
Yeah, what stunned me is I thought off the tee he was going to find something, be it the stinger again or a 3-wood that he liked, or you know what I mean? If driver wasn't going to be the answer, he'd find one. The short game has been the stunning development to me.
Yeah.
It's
not
like
seeing all those crazy yips from the chipping or anything.
It's so far in the rear view that the broadcast doesn't even remark on it anymore. And if you look at the end of his round on Saturday, he left himself 2 impossible chips on 15 and 17, where he had to short-sided over the bunker, through the woods, into grandmother's house we go.
Well, there's an inch from that being a perfect shot, though. You talking about the flop? The
Yes,
high?
on 15.
Yeah, oh, man, that's an inch from being down by the hole.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, he's ready.
Yeah,
he is 100% ready for Augusta to make the cut. I don't know about to contend to win, because the one thing that he needs to do a little bit better is hit his longer irons off the fairways.
Yeah.
Because the approach shots at the Honda, they're usually 8 irons to wedges. Now, if you're going to be in the top 3 in distance, you're going to be hitting a lot of 7 and 8 irons, but there are a couple of holes, especially, you think about 11 and 13 on the back 9 at Augusta Amen Corner, and 15 too. You got to be able to hit your 4-iron or your 3-iron and be able to do it with consistency and precision on those holes. I don't know that he's ready for that challenge yet, but he is on pace to be figuring in the weekend at Augusta. There's no doubt about it.
He's plus 1,500 right now. You can get him at, and Jordan Spieth's at plus 800 to give you an example. John Rahm's plus 1,400.
Right.
I mean, this is what I mean. What are we doing here?
Right.
Justin Rose is plus 1,800. You got better odds. I mean, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. But it's not crazy. If you watch this whole weekend, which and I think from the bed, I watched every freaking shot this weekend.
You and I watched a lot. I watched a lot, too, when I wasn't at the baseball game or when I was out watching Seminole golf. But I let me say something real quick that I think is cool about all this is, in sport in general, when you talk to coaches and players, I've been bringing this up a lot lately because I've learned just from doing that other thing on SiriusXM. All of these guys, whether it's Dr. McCabe who comes and helps at Florida State, sports psychologist who pitched at LSU, whether it's head coach Trey Jones at Florida State University, whether it's players that I've had a chance to talk to or caddies. We talked to Tim Mickelson. It's so neat because there's a common thread here, and it's all to do with confidence, because you can't get to where any of these guys are if you're not already a talented, creative, very, very good golfer, basketball player, tennis player, you name it. If you're a pro or even a Division I full-ride athlete, you're really talented. The thing that usually separates you is your confidence, your belief, and your commitment to that, to knowing that you can do that and believing it. Not telling yourself that, but believing it. I see committed shots from Tiger Woods. I see committed shots, and we haven't seen it in so long. I mean, it doesn't always work out because that's golf. But the best players in the world are committed to the shot, and that's what you have to be before you do anything else. That's confidence. That's belief.
Yeah, there's a handful of shots from his performance down south this weekend that have me saying, oh, well, if this is going to be the discussion.
Games we're gonna have around here, yeah.
One of them is the 18th on Saturday. He's in the bunker approaching the par 5 from about 245 out. And he lands it pin high to the left of the green.
It's an insane
Okay, that's really, really hard to do.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And that shows off that the long iron game, which I'm concerned about, it's close. The other is the pitch shot on 15, the short game, to have the imagination. And for all intents and purposes, he's capable of pulling that shot off. Although it didn't work out, that tells me he's capable of pulling that off.
He caught the lip. He got a little unlucky.
Well, and he knows the greens around Augusta better than any course he knows ever. Then there's also, in the beginning of his round yesterday, the front 9, he's in the woods on number 3. And he's asking for a ruling because he's trying to get around the satellite dish or whatever the hell apparatus they have in the woods. He hits a 40-yard slice.
It's crazy.
And puts himself back in position 1A to approach the green. So the imagination left to right is all there. If he gets cocky and he tries to hit shots right to left too often, he's going to get killed and he won't make the cut. So that would be the internal battle, and the thing I'm interested to see if he gets a little bit too arrogant.
30-something days away, buddy.
Shaping it right to left, not great. Not great this weekend. But he doesn't need to in Augusta.
I'll tell you, though, the 2 drives left off the tee are real close to being damn perfect on the right to left off the tee.
What's crazy is if you haven't watched him yet, and you will certainly at the first major this year, as long as his back doesn't give out between now and then.
There's no problem there right now.
you have to look at his swing completely differently. It's more loopy off the tee. Yeah. There's this loopy timing element. It's not as violent as it used to be. So if you memorize the way he swings and the way you think the ball is going to go, it's not quite the same. You have to retrain your eye to watch how he hits his longer shots. But the shorter shots, that three-quarter thing he does in the fairway approaching greens, that's as money as the half wedge that Phil displayed last decade he was going on his roll.
Just do commit to keeping the ball. If you're he didn't even need to bring a driver to Augusta. I mean, he will. But, I mean, if you're going to hit a stinger 310 yards, my man.
Well, yeah, but he hit a couple. I think it's 11 is a dogleg right on this course. Now I'm starting to forget, and yet I watched everything. He hit a couple. I think it was 11 twice. 360? I mean, I'm talking about left to right, around the corner, dogleg right. He hits it 360.
He had the second longest drive of the tournament by 2 yards. He was 358 is the one you're talking about. 360 was the one that actually led the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So 358, he hit a drive. Again, club head speed, driving distance average off the tee, all of that stuff had him top 3 in almost every meaningful category. That's crazy in and of itself, given all the back surgeries and all the issues that he's had. It's just absolutely insane.
He shoots 69 on Saturday, and he could have shot 65 without breaking a sweat. It was about the worst he could have shot for the round he played and the way he struck the golf ball.
It's exciting to watch. Exciting to watch to see him back, and I think after this weekend, a lot of people believe he is back. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
TNT Supercenter is your one-stop shop for the largest inventory of golf carts and accessories, stocking over 150 new and pre-owned carts with prices starting under $2,000. Whether you're looking for a standard or custom golf cart, TNT has the perfect cart for you. TNT carries and services leading brands and a full line of premium Mad Jacks accessories. Stop by or call to find out about our zero-down, low-interest rate financing, free delivery, and rental programs. Visit TNTSupercenter.com.
TNT. I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Florida's largest boat dealers will display a huge selection at the North Florida Fairgrounds for the Tallahassee Regional Boat Show.
Shop, compare, and make your best deal on the greatest boats and motors.
Key West, Sundance,
Hurricane Deck Boats,
G3, Skeeter, Parker, Sea Hunt,
Carolina Skiff, and Seabourn.
Participating dealers include Big Bend Marine, Cruise Marine, Jack's Boats and Trailers, Mike's Marine, Shields Marina, and Stowaway Marine.
Plus, find easy on-site financing opportunities too. The Tallahassee Regional Boat Show, March 2nd through 4th at the North Florida Fairgrounds.
And the admission and parking is free.
I give to you easy laundry service from my friends at Wash Around the Clock. Oh, buddy, this is a game changer. If you're like me, your life is hectic. Between work, school, your kids' sporting events and activities, well, it leaves you precious little time to kick back and take a load off. About the last thing you want to do is hours of laundry, but there it sits, staring at you, taunting. No more. That's right, more watching, less washing. Save hours of valuable time when you sign up not doing laundry with Easy Laundry service from Wash Around the Clock. Whether it's dry cleaning or just plain laundry, Wash Around the Clock's Easy Laundry service will pick up and deliver at your home or office. So sign up for free today at easylaundry.net, or you can give them a call, 850-597-9007. Again, sign up today at easylaundry.net. Oh, and by the way, I got you. Use promo code JCS20 and save 20%. That's promo code JCS20. You're saving 20% on your first order. That's easylaundry.net from Wash Around the Clock.
Jumpstart the new you with Muscle Maker Grill. Muscle Maker Grill's diverse menu is created for everyone from fitness enthusiasts to those just trying to eat better. Sign up now for the Muscle Maker Grill meal plan. Whether you're bulking up, slimming down, or saving time, we've got the right option for you. The best part? You can customize the amount of daily meals and the length of your plan for total control of your health. From low carb to high protein, low fat to gluten free, we have the meal choices that will fit perfectly to your lifestyle and needs. To learn more, visit us at 2020 West Pensacola Street or on the web at musclemakergrill.com. Muscle Maker Grill, providing great food with your health in mind.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
I do want to say I didn't mention it before, and I know you've gone out to do this before, but I went out this weekend, Golden Eagle, to watch Florida State host their tournament, and a lot of teams there, and it was a lot of fun. I for those that have thought about going out there, listen, I don't get paid by the university or the golf team or anything like that. Yes, I work with Trey, and I think he does a great job. That's self-evident. But in terms of going, taking your kids to stuff, seeing things, you know, when I went to tennis, I said the same thing, that before I had kids, that's not just something I would do. And when you go and you have a good time, you know, I feel like you should tell everybody. And I did. I had a real good time. That was, well, first of all, you got a lot of kids out there, a couple on this team for sure, and several, I'm sure, on the other teams whose backgrounds I don't know as much about, obviously, as compared to ours. But they're going to be pros. You're watching guys who are going to be playing in the pros. Harry Ellis is most certainly going to be a pro. But there are some guys that you've never heard of. To watch Swing the Club is extraordinary, and the access you get, and this is true of golf in general. I talk about this all the time. There are really very few sports in the world that you can see the best in the game, or the best at the collegiate level in this case, and be up close and personal and watch them play at that level, do what they do. You can't stand next to LeBron James. I mean, you can get a courtside seat for a few $1,000s, I suppose, or if you're a corporate sponsor or something. But if you're just the everyday guy that would like to go watch the best do what they do, golf is the best way to do that, whether that's a professional event or, in this case, a college event. And I wanted to congratulate Florida State. They won the tournament, but also just the event itself was fantastic.
No, it's long been one of my favorite things to go to, and I hated missing out on it this particular weekend.
You've been sick as a dog.
I have been. But it's just, even the kids who come up last, you know, or in the bottom third of this individual tournament. I was talking about last year. There was a kid on, it's Golden Eagle this year, but it was Southwood last year, and it's hole number 11. It's a short par 4.
Mm-hmm.
He's able to back up a driver on the green and drive the green from 310.
It's dumb, isn't it?
Downwind, he backed it up. I don't know how the hell he did it. So I took his name down so I could check the scores later. Dude finished like third from last.
Yeah.
But he has that in the bag.
He's got that in the bag.
It's just incredible.
Yeah, I think so too. I was blown away, and I really enjoyed it. And, oh, by the way, one of the players, John Pock, I think is his name, and if I'm getting that wrong, Trey, you can slap my wrists when you see me, but for Florida State, who really, I mean, just the nicest kid, and he won the individual as a freshman. And anyhow, he came over and gave a ball to both my boys.
Yeah, well, may have a contender this year if you have a British amateur champion to go with a freshman who's capable of winning his home event.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, huh? So it is that I just wanted a quick shout out while I could, and while I was thinking about it here at the end of the show. Also, a quick shout out to our friends at Wash Around the Clock. A reminder that if you don't have the Wash Around the Clock service, you're missing out. TallahasseeLaundry.com. It's a local business. They do a great job. I'm bringing my clothes in tomorrow, thus the reminder that I am saving time and money by having somebody else do all that nonsense, like wash, fold, dry my clothes. And they do that. Pick up, deliver. Could be at your home or your office. They also have laundry, dry cleaning, and pressing. So anything you may need. Tom uses the service as well. I do too. In fact, they're getting 2 huge red bags from me tomorrow.
Man, I'll be out of town on Friday, but when I do bring in the stuff for them, they're going to need the hazmat suits. They better
Please
take
warn
every precaution.
Yeah, warn them, please. So you.
That's probably a poor form. I should probably do that first round of laundry
you
myself.
Should say, hey guys. Yeah. No, they got it. They got it. It's really easy. They even have an app for it and everything else. And so, no, it's fantastic. If you want, go to easylaundry.net. You'll see what I'm talking about. That's wash around the clock. They advertise with us, and we utilize the services, and you should know about that too. So for tonight, no Big Daddy J. Stop asking, guys. You're getting to be fiends, and I understand that mentality. Hit a dry spell a little bit here. We're going to back off the pedal for a moment.
Trade deadline. There's a lot of distractions out there.
There are. It's been harder to, in the last 2 weeks, really predict properly the kind of motivations and the headspace where these guys are at in hockey. And so I ventured out, did a little action on the NBA, a couple other things, but I left the hockey alone for a little bit. Now, with this completing the trade deadline, we'll feel a little bit better.
I've been leaving college basketball alone, too. There's a lot of desperation out there, and that makes for games that should never happen in January happen in, February, March. So I'm leaving the action in general, I'm leaving it the hell alone.
Well, and I'll tell you something. We've talked about it a lot today, and for good reason. But that effort last night disappointed me more than any other effort this year. I got to tell you, given the circumstances, you wouldn't have had to win the game to get my praise in some capacity. If they played well, played hard, came down to the wire, lost against a good NC State team on the road, you say, all right, well, it's college basketball. It's life in the ACC. It's what happens. It's tough to win on the road in this league. But they weren't competitive, and really from the jump, they weren't competitive. And, it's one thing to note, as I have repeatedly, that they don't play defense. I got you. But I heard a lot of people, and I understand you got to write what you write, and you got to document what happened. And it's true, NC State knocked down shots. But I think it's a little too easy just to chalk it up to they were hot. A lot of teams seem to get real hot against us, and I don't think that's a coincidence. It's because they get a lot of really open looks, and they knock the first few down, and then they feel real good about themselves. Just like hitting in baseball can be contagious, shooting can be contagious. You see the ball going to the basket, especially at home, repeatedly at the start of games. You're going to have a hard time reining that in, man, because they've got momentum. The crowd gets into it. They start believing everything they can throw up is going to go in. And if you're going to come out with a lack of intensity and focus on defense and allow for those first few to go down, you may not create the monster you saw last night repeatedly, but you're going to create a problem for yourself. And it's just a lesson that hasn't been learned this year by this team. They don't do anything right on the road, and it's really annoying. And that was a piss-poor effort and an embarrassment for that staff. If I'm going to praise them for all the good that they've done this year, and they have, and I still think this team makes the tournament, which was the stated goal, gotcha. But honestly, that was garbage, and they should be ashamed. They had a week off to prepare for that. They had all the rest in the world, and they looked like they've never played basketball.
Yeah, they were ready to play at 8 o'clock, or 7 o'clock, because the second half, you're trading basket for basket there, and you look okay, but that's too little too late.
Yeah, the game's over.
Yeah.
I mean, the game's over, and so you can lose that game and not create a sense of ire from the fan base and frustration, even from your most staunch supporters.
Right.
But you can't lose that game by 20 points, 92-72, and look as bad as you do in the first 10 minutes of the contest when you had a week. You had a week. Now, you can look like your shot's not dropping because maybe you're rusty, the week off without game competition. That can happen. But I need to see a defensive intensity that is ratcheted up, that belies the week off that you had, that tells you that you've got fresh legs, that you're out and focused and ready to play. And so, you have a chance to overcome a poor start offensively if you're playing good defense. But obviously, when you're not, you get buried. And they got buried last night. It was just disappointing. Now, look, I don't want to overstate things, and that's what happens on Twitter. That's what happens in our inbox. That's what happens in these kinds of games. When we play poorly, it's the worst coach team in America, and my God, how do you continue to defend the man? When we play really, really well and beat somebody that is above our pay grade, if you will, and has better players across the board, I don't get 100 emails of, oh, my God, why don't we give that man a raise and an extension? It doesn't work that way.
You get 3.
I get 3 people going, hey, another nice win, I'm watching.
Bohica, Clemson?
Right. You get so I get it. I think they'll lose this next game to Clemson on Wednesday. And they'll be 19-10, and people will be panicked, and I don't think they should be. That'll move them to 8-9. And kind of what we predicted before is going to end up playing out here. They're going to have to win the final game of the regular season at home against Boston College, who's not an easy win. Boston College is very competitive. And you know what? If you're a tournament team, you win the game. You win the game. And you'll go to 20-10, 9-9 in the ACC, which is a fine campaign. I do think, Tom, and I don't know that anything that happens between now and then is really going to change my mind here. I think I've seen enough to say that they are 100% average and have little chance to really succeed in the NCAA tournament. I don't think they're going to do much. I think they'll lose their first game in the ACC tournament, and I think they may lose their first game in the NCAA tournament. So when they beat BC, go ahead and get excited because that's the last win you may see this year.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
They don't guard anybody. And when the stakes are high and people play harder and get focused, and jump shots are harder to come by and to make, and you can't just drive because people are now ratcheting up their defense, and it means more to them, how are we going to score? I mean, we can't hit the broadside of a barn these days. So I mean, Angola has won for his last 20 from beyond the arc.
I know that's a hell of a thing.
It's a hell of a thing.
It's a good, hey, man, he's getting it's running its course through his system.
For weeks, man. I'd be surprised. Let's just put it that way. Can they? Of course they can.
Yeah.
Of course they can. You just listen. I'm taking a stand. I've been on their side this year and told people they'll make the tournament, and I think that's going to happen. And I'll applaud it because that is a hell of an accomplishment given what they've lost. I'll continue to repeat that even in the wake of losses because I think it is a great accomplishment. I mean that. But I also think it's fair to say I have very low expectations of what they're capable of once we get to the dance.
I think they're going to win on Wednesday. That's what I think.
Well, it'd be great to see.
That's who they are, though. This is who they are. They put out a performance like that, and then on Wednesday they're going to put a performance and we'll say, wow,
they might.
Look at what they're capable of. That makes me all the more mad about what just happened on Sunday night.
Well, it wouldn't make me mad, and I actually didn't get demonstrative or anything like that. I watched that performance. I was disappointed, as I said before. I thought it was a butt-sorry performance in the wake of having a week off. I thought they'd come out energized on defense, and I think that's the area again that continues to concern me. If you're not gonna, now Leonard said after the game he thought they panicked a little bit when they got overrun early. Well, I mean, good God, man. We're 28 games into the season. Are you panicking out here? I mean, I don't like to
You sound like you got mad.
Oh, but not enough to yell at the TV. I just kind of nodded my head and went, that's what we're doing here. They made it easy on me, though. The game was over. And the game was over very early. They weren't coming back. You could tell that. They weren't going to guard anybody. And NC State knew they could get a basket whenever they wanted. And so, given that,
well, you have a bit of a crisis here in terms of your rotation and what you want to be identity-wise. They're one thing with excuse me, not Obiagu, but Chris Kumaje in the lineup. This is what I get with I lose my marbles. But you're one thing with Kumaje in the lineup, and you play a little bit bigger. But then you're quite another thing if you're trying to run this hybrid system where you have a bunch of wings out there with Kofor and Kabengele are down low, and then you have three guards, one of which you can't trust to shoot, which is Angola, and that's supposed to be your best guy from the perimeter. CJ has been streaky. Trent Force is not a perimeter shooter. He's a great driver of the basketball.
Yeah, he's
been
our
better
best player,
at the free throw line. He's been one of our best players, if not our best player. Absolutely right. But there's not. Then you throw Savoy out there just randomly and see if he catches fire. It seems like they're just throwing things against the wall because they don't know what they want to be. That's the hard part.
They know how they want to play. They just don't have a go-to guy.
Well, especially when the opponent has a big. That's the other thing. You notice when the opponent has a big who can do something about it, we get a little bit confused with how we want to manage our rotation.
Well, again, I will point out that I thought earlier this year it was becoming more and more apparent that we have no inside-out game. So there's nothing – you can't throw the ball in the post and do anything to match that, and we don't do well at defending the post. So, you better make shots, Tom. You better make shots.
Right. Well, you can't make a shot outside the paint, let alone from three.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
You got to make shots, and we get back to the make or miss thing, right? The guys that were carrying you through long stretches at a time aren't making shots.
Well, this is the price for playing more exciting basketball. Is on a night like last night when the offense goes cold, you don't stand a chance.
No.
And that's always going to be there.
And that's fine. I think some years that's going to be fine. Hell, it's going to be fine this year. They're going to make the tournament. They've got plenty of exciting wins this year. I do think, oddly, and part of this is growing up. MJ will grow up. Some of the Kabengele and these guys will get better and more experience. They'll learn from all of this. They are a different team on the road. Now, I know they have the road Louisville win.
Virginia Tech as well.
It really turned out to be a great win against Virginia Tech on the road. I got you. But they are a different animal on the road. They don't play the same way. And nobody really does. Not too many teams can carry their game on the road in the ACC consistently well. But they sometimes really do look like Jekyll and Hyde on the road, and it's frustrating. They always play hard at home. They always play smart at home and intense at home and give themselves a chance. But I really didn't feel like they gave themselves much of a chance last night with the lack of defensive intensity. And again, guys started making shots, and I agree with Leonard. I think we panicked a little bit at that point. But you know, it's just too dismissive to say things like, "Well, they got hot." Lots of people seem to be getting very hot against us consistently.
Well, we said this earlier, but I think the hard part is when your best players are not your best players, they have a hard time taking command of a huddle.
Yeah.
You know, if Man and Angola are hitting their shots, then they can set tones for you.
Yeah.
But if they're not, well, first of all, their minutes are going to be diminished. And second of all, who's going to listen? That's the hard part here.
Man hasn't been the same player since the injury. I don't know if you go back and, you know, the little allegedly the curfew violation coupled with the injury, something went on there. He hasn't been the same player consistently well at all. And there's a leadership void there from at least in terms of you can't be getting disciplined this late in the year. It's just odd. I'm not saying that there is strife in the locker room or anything like that. I don't think there is. But something's amiss, and hey, who knows? If they win on Wednesday, well, then you can, 100% they're in. I think they're going to get in either way. But it would maybe lessen my angst about what lies ahead for this team in the postseason if they go on the road and get a win at Clemson. I think it probably would, but I just don't expect them to do that. And I'm glad you do, buddy. That's a bold endeavor. I'll give you the bold endeavor. You can write it up on the board right now if you believe it.
I do believe it.
All right, well, then you write it down because
Okay.
I don't believe it. We'll be betting another tall boy.
Well, this is the good thing. Clemson's kind of tanking, but they didn't tank so far as to lose to Georgia Tech.
Right. We needed them to, we don't need them getting into some weird desperation mode.
Exactly.
Right,
well, they were down in the second half to Georgia Tech. I was like, hey, what are you
get
doing
it-
here?
get it together,
Get it
right?
together. And then
Yeah.
they end up cruising to victory.
Yeah.
So they have false positive reinforcement. And here we come because that's who we are.
Write it on the board, big
Okay,
dog.
all right.
Write it on the board. All right, we got it. It's in there. Bold endeavor to end the show 2 days before the game. I like it. Good work out of you, Tom Lang. Good work, Matthew. Thanks for listening, everybody. Hang in there, everybody.